Hello and welcome back to Outside the Box. Today we have a lot to talk about. There's quite a lot to talk about, honestly. It is a crazy show. We are missing Jeremy Peterman, of course. We're hoping that he can get into the stream soon enough, but we're joined by Daniel Schill.
How's it going, guys?
And status check. Check the pulse. Is there anything going on over there?
The season's gone.
Mr. Jaws
dead.
Officially gone dead
It's
in the
over.
water.
It's over.
Oh,
Look at my name.
man.
Can you guys see my name on here? Can you see my name on here? Minus
Let's see,
18
let
goal
me-
difference in April.
How can I
It's a little sad.
That's terrible.
Oh.
That's
let's do that.
new
Yeah, look
levels.
at that. How do I put your name on? Let's
historically shit on par to be the worst MLS team in history, or on track to be the worst MLS team in history.
Look,
there-
there needs to be
There it
the
is.
worst. If people can strive to be the best, but you know how impressive it is to be the worst? Like,
No.
it's just as impressive being the absolute worst as it is to be the
We've
absolute best.
won a spoon, Daniel. We're the only original team to never have won a spoon, a wooden spoon.
Oh.
Only one.
What's your?
That's
You
all
know
we
what's
got.
funny?
I would love to ship you multiple wooden spoons.
Isn't that funny that LA Galaxy have won a spoon?
Yeah, when was that?
Before SKC. That was 2018.
Wow.
Or no, that was 27, either 17 or 18. But the following year they went and got Zlatan. So that's what I mean. I think once SKC get their spoon, you guys will get Zlatan next year. So
I think they'll get
something to look
Ronaldo
forward
next year.
True.
Ooh.
Got Discovery.
Well, they almost did last year. Could you? I mean, could you imagine this team with Ronaldo? Just the. Oh, that we missed out on
There's an
Ronaldo.
alternate timeline somewhere where Ronaldo is leaping out of a downtown Kansas City building because of how shit this
There's an
team is.
alternate timeline where Cristiano Ronaldo is putting up Christian Benteke numbers to not make the playoffs.
lost 5-4, scored all 4 ass posts on Instagram. He's
Fellas,
collabing with
I mean-
Mr. Beast.
Who else? I mean, iShow Speed would be at every. We would get an iShow Speed off to see the Wizards collab. Would we not?
We
Yeah.
would. That is true. That is very true.
That, man,
He'd be hitting us up too.
Unfortunately, though, SKC are just meh. But one team that's not meh is the Vancouver Whitecaps. And not only are the Vancouver Whitecaps not meh, I mean, right now they're in a meh, not even a meh situation. This is a code fucking red situation for the Vancouver Whitecaps. I know I have on the assignments, I have Vancouver, Colorado. I'm not going to touch on that match just yet. I'm going to touch on, I mean, again, this is an MLS podcast, guys. And so, for as much as I want to dive into the games, there are just some times when we have to actually talk about the league and how it's manifesting and how it's unfolding before our eyes, I should say. And the Vancouver situation is absolutely fucked. Capital F, fucked. We were kind of discussing it between us a little bit in the in the pre-pod chat. It's a shame we don't have Jeremy here because I was going to throw it to him really to really kind of get us going on here. But fellas, the Whitecaps are looking at some potential relocation. Of course, the lease with the BC place is kind of a tough one, but the owners of MLS met to kind of figure out, all right, what are we going to do, guys? What are we doing with Vancouver? And I'll throw it to you guys. What are your immediate thoughts here? Shill, I know you've got a lot to say as well. I have the anti-MLS take here. I want to hone in on, but I know you got this Shill in your name for a reason. So what do you make of the Whitecaps, man? This is kind of a tough one.
Yeah, I think you look at a team that's struggled in the last 2 decades, and then you look at how good they are now, and you can't help but think this is what makes Major League Soccer beautiful, right? And all the fans that have rallied behind Vancouver have really made these last 2 years special for them, right? Because it was really out of nowhere. Last year, we had them ranked as a conglomerate podcast what, 14th total to finish, and now they're just on a roll these last 2 years, right? That being said, they are currently struggling to find a ownership group in the city of Vancouver who is able to take on the responsibility of renting out BC place for them, and they don't have anywhere else to go. So what's MLS's solution? It's the same solution that you see in Major League Baseball, that you see in the NBA, that you see in the NFL every decade. It is to pick that team up and move it to a better market, right? A more profitable market. I personally hate it. I would hate to see one of Cascadia's three teams go away. I think you have a blueprint in the United States on how to make a league incredibly successful in the NFL. The National Football League is the highest grossing revenue league in this world for a reason. But you don't need to do everything that they do. I think we are in a position where this league is growing so fast and it's still so new that if you want an expansion team in Vegas, just put an expansion team in Vegas. What are we doing here, right? If you want 20 teams in the West and you want 20 teams in the East, that is still super, super doable. You don't need to pull Montreal down to Raleigh. You don't need to pull, I just said that because I live in Raleigh and I really want a Major League Soccer team here, but I would boycott that. I want it to be known. You don't need to pull Vancouver down to Vegas. You don't need to move Houston up to Chicago, give Chicago a second team. Like, you don't need to do those things. You already have fan bases and stadiums in these cities that are going to allow you to keep on creating more fans. And if you pick up and move those things away, you're starting from zero. To do what? Put them in a growing city in Vegas where maybe there's more money there, but if there's only more money there, by proxy, that Vegas is just more expensive to live in. So what are we really doing here? You're starting from zero for what? I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. And I could banter about this forever, but I need to hear some thoughts from Joss before I just go ape shit.
I mean,
yeah, Joss.
if I may approach this from an anti-Las Vegas standpoint, when are we gonna stop with this Vegas experiment? Okay, how many teams in the past few years have been relocated or expanded to Las Vegas? Let's think about it. The Golden Knights, for example, they were an expansion team, I think. Moved to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Raiders were moved from Oakland to Las Vegas. Where's the fun in that? The Oakland A's, they're moving to Vegas. And that's not even to mention that the NBA, I think, is looking to put a team in Vegas as well. So really, what I'm tired of is pretending that Las Vegas is anything more than a glorified strip in the desert. It is not a sports city. And I will stand on that. The Las Vegas Lights already exist there, and that's fun. That's fine. You can have a USL team there because the main thing bringing people to Las Vegas is not the sports, it's the gambling, it's the entertainment. And that's okay if that is what your economy is based off of. But we got to stop pretending that it's anything more than that. The F1 races that were hosted in Vegas on the Strip, those were only for the very rich, entertained people that flew in for the weekend for the race and flew out. Locals who actually live in Vegas, they put up blocking things that they couldn't use the main strip in Vegas, and people blocked like the construction that they put up to allow people to walk across the strip while the race was going on, so they couldn't even watch it. They put up things on hotel windows facing the strip so that people could not watch the F1 races. And that gets to my second. So that's my first point, is that Las Vegas is not a sports city. Vancouver is a sports city. It still supports the Canucks. How good are the Vancouver Canucks? I can't tell you. They're bad. The Vancouver Grizzlies, they moved from Vancouver to Memphis, unfortunately. Vancouver keeps getting screwed over, and it is one of the best places to live probably in the continent. It is a beautiful place. It's very expensive to live there, but it has a population that cares about its local teams. And we've seen it in the past couple of years of the Whitecaps becoming good, is that Vancouver, the Whitecaps fans have showed up and showed out. And the reward for that is that their team gets relocated. So I'm tired of pretending that Vegas is anything more than a glorified gambling strip. That's okay if that's what it is. We do not need to make it a sports city. A sports city is a city that people will die for their sports teams. I don't see Vancouver fans doing that. As the Kansas City Chiefs fans, I know people here will die for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know people in Vegas don't die for the Las Vegas Raiders, because whenever we play the Las Vegas Raiders, the entire stadium is packed out in red because there is not a fan base there. And I can't imagine that if the NFL cannot figure out a way to grow an organic fan base in Las Vegas, that MLS will be able to do it. And I agree with your point, Daniel. Just move him there. So that's my first point. My second point is just the corporate greed of it all. MLS, you're a $1 billion company. Okay, you're a $1 billion corporation. How many messy dollars have flown in? All of those Inter Miami shirts that I'm seeing at Sporting KC games, those have to be going somewhere. Okay, Vancouver does not deserve this, and I'm sick of the corporate greed because, like you guys said, if MLS really wanted a team in Vegas, they could put one in Vegas. And there are cities all over the country that deserve a team before Vegas does. I'm looking at places like Detroit. Even though they don't even want to be an MLS, they deserve an MLS team over Las Vegas. I don't want to sound I don't want to sound conservative, but do it the right way. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm talking about conservative immigration policies, but if you do it the right way, then that's what I'm talking about. These teams need to come in organically. They need to do it the right way. They need to do it the Cincinnati way, the Portland Timbers way, the Seattle Sounders way. They need to do it a way where the team exists, the team has a fan base that people can use, and the team exists and it has a fan base that people relate to. And from there, they've been able to grow an organic following that has got the attention of the league. Indianapolis is another example. Louisville, like these guys, Charleston, they all deserve an MLS team before Las Vegas does. Phoenix, like there's so many. So I went on a bit of a tangent there, but my points are Vegas is not a sports city. It does not deserve the joy that the Whitecaps, the joy of having an MLS team yet. They haven't done it the right way. They don't have any organic fan base there. And it's really just a strip in the desert where people gamble. I don't care about the Golden Knights. I know that they're good, but come on, let's be serious.
I got one more little take on this, and then I want to hear what Juanners has to say about it. But they might have had me 3 to 4 years ago when they can make the argument that you need to put your franchises, because it's what they are, right? You need to put your clubs or franchises in a city where you can attract talent. And then they went off and signed Thomas Mueller, who was one of the best talents in Major League Soccer. So you don't even have that argument. So I just don't get it. Ryan Reynolds, save this team, please.
Now, I will say that there is something to be said about the politics involved, both from a Vegas perspective, because it's the de facto kind of like I was reading up on this. It wasn't too long ago that the Vegas residents were just super upset with the way that public funds went into funding Allegiant Stadium, right? And there's a little bit of a venue fatigue going on in Vegas, right? And even the Lights are struggling to find a permanent venue in Vegas, right? Fellas, I do want to invite onto the broadcast one Jeremy Peterman, Rise and Shine Cupcake. We need you for this big Vancouver discussion, because and this is where we were last year, right? Because this is what I said last year. Stuff off the field tends to seep into the game, right? And for Vancouver, it didn't, and that was kind of one of the more incredible parts of their campaign last season. Because if you didn't think the Vancouver Whitecaps were fun last season, you obviously don't watch the game, but even nowadays, they're playing some of the best ball ever. I mean, from Ali Ahmed, they go to Bruno Caicedo. From who else? I mean, JC Ngannou is still on the team, but instead of Ngannou, you got Sabali. Like this is a Whitecaps team that is just finally now rounding out into just this this top team in the West. I have them first in the West for this reason, and they are playing like it. They're playing like one of the best teams in Major League Soccer history, and so it's very weird to see this. You juxtapose it with everything going on, but I want to let Jeremy kind of lead off here because I have a lot more to say as well, but I'll let Jeremy get in his first few takes. Welcome to the broadcast, Jeremy. How you doing?
Oh, it's awesome. I've been awake for 5 minutes. And
Jeremy.
Yes.
Babe, wake up. We have to talk about the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Beauty sleep must be a very real thing. You look great today, brother.
God, I am still calibrating, but you know what? Goodness me, that cowboy hat is sensational, Daniel.
Thank you. What are you doing after this?
We're Probably going back to sleep. Okay. I haven't been here for the majority of these conversations. I think I'm going to try and touch on something that I don't think anyone's touched on yet, which is that the Whitecaps are still playing really, really, really well, right? The fact that they are under the threat of relocation is such a huge motivator to players. Basically, anytime there are major off-field issues, it can motivate players. Oh, we've been touched on this. Oh
No.
wait,
I was
No.
going to say that anyway. No.
Dan was just
taking
derailing the
advantage-
podcast.
Yeah, you're taking advantage of a man who has freshly woken up. Shame on you. But okay. When players only have to focus on what's going on the field in their own work, using the backdrop of an overarching threat from the league, because I do believe this is more of a league thing, at least the relocation part, it's really good for them. It's really good. They're just able to focus and, in short, get shit done. Now, they're getting shit done to a degree that, like Juanners said, no other MLS team has been able to do, but all the more power to them for that. And I think the crux of this issue right now is that Vancouver's current ownership group has not communicated exactly what they're looking for. They have not communicated that they are looking for this amount of money right now, because the biggest pressing issue is the fact that their lease at BC Place is coming to a close at the end of this year. They need to find a temporary solution for that. So if Vancouver's ownership group is just able to speak out, not give like these vague statements, which are still depressing, but are still something that that at least local government can see, they just gotta get a new lease agreement, short term, whatever, while they figure out something long term. And the fact that they have been able to get a short term agreement done yet, maybe with slightly more favorable terms, I think that's more of an indictment on the ownership group than it is on local government or MLS, because there are three different entities here. There's Vancouver's ownership, BC, British Columbia provincial government, whatever the fuck that is, and then MLS. And I do believe that it's very MLS for them to float like, oh, we need to go to Las Vegas, like 10 years after everyone really, really wanted to get a sports team in Las Vegas. Like even the Oakland Athletics were like far behind the curve when they wanted to go to athletics, and that when they wanted to go to Vegas, and that was like 4 years ago. Nonsense. So I'm just going to start saying hashtag save the lights, hashtag keep the lights on, because I think
Fire.
I don't think Las Vegas is going to be a great place for a soccer team. I don't think it's a good place for anything outside of a hockey team. They were happy to get their hockey team, and that's all they should have had, and everything else should have been completely off the table. They are a hockey city. So right now, it's just waiting to see what happens in Vancouver. It's sad. It's depressing. It's something that no one wants to see, no one wants to hear. But as of right now, it's in the hands of Vancouver's owners more than anything else. How do you interview 100 potential buyers and not one of them fits the criteria that you have? How? Like,
Bingo.
are you guys? You're not really doing your job. And also, I blame Steve Nash, not just because I despise him as the former head coach of my favorite basketball team, the Brooklyn Nets, but I believe that the combination of him, Kerfoot, and the other guy, there's three minority owners there, they really, really, really are dropping the ball in a way. And although they say we want to keep this team in Vancouver, like you want to keep the team in Vancouver and you want to make enough money. You want to make enough money from a sale that you believe is expected. And also, really quick tangent on MLS market values. Who gives a fuck about MLS market values?
Come on!
Are these Sportico valuations? It's like, oh, Inter Miami's worth a couple $1 billion. Really? Really? Inter Miami's worth a couple $1 billion? LAFC's cracked the $1 billion mark? Who really gives a shit about how much these clubs are worth? Those are fake fucking numbers. Everyone knows it. Most of those numbers are true because there's no promotion relegation in this league, which I think is a good thing. I don't give like all these pro welfare USA, you guys, you dickheads out there who are constantly like, oh, this is why soccer keeps failing in America because there's a promotion and relegation. That's not true. Soccer in America keeps failing because there are idiots like Don Garber in charge of the domestic league. That's literally it. So, keep in mind, Don Garber, who does not give a shit about the product on the field, we'll talk about refereeing throughout the rest of this show. They do not care. They care only about these club valuations and saying, look at this. Look at how good we're doing because look at how valuable these clubs are. They're inherently valuable because half of them play in brand new stadiums that have been built since 2017, and the other half are safe from relegation no matter what. So, I'm done with all this club valuation nonsense. All those numbers are fake, and none of this matters. Absolutely none of this matters except keeping the Vancouver Whitecaps in Canada, which, if nothing can happen between all three of those people or three of those entities that are responsible for making this decision, it would be an absolute fucking travesty. This isn't pre-court saying, oh, I question the viability of being able to keep a soccer team in Columbus that had been in Columbus for 20 years already. This is literally just three stubborn entities who cannot communicate exactly what they want except for the provincial government of British Columbia. And even they are too stubborn because they refuse to let the Whitecaps take more match day revenue from the stadium. This whole situation is so stupid, and the Vancouver Whitecaps fans are caught in the middle of it.
It's always the fans that bear the brunt of these kind of piss battles between three different entities like this. What I want to lead off with is how do you go to 100 different investors and not one can see the numbers in what it means to like invest and make this viable? I truly, guys, I think the MLS bubble may be soon to burst because it's like what Jeremy said. It's like, yeah, these valuations could be inflated and could be to a point where it's like, oh yeah, $1 billion valuation. It's like, really? Because nobody outside of Vancouver is seeing this as a potential thing to invest in and to grow in. I think we are reaching the height of where MLS is in a valuation standpoint, right? So then it's like, okay.
Juanners, really quickly. It's also for those people who want to come in like those 100 offers, hypothetically, none of them want to build the stadium in Vancouver. Like, none of them do. They don't want to build in Canada. They want to build somewhere in the U.S. because they, above all else, know that if they could try and build a stadium in the U.S., they can leverage the public money to get it done. They are not going to have to spend as much money as they would if they were building in Vancouver. Tom Dundon, that cheap bastard, has barely been the owner of the Portland Trailblazers for a month. This past weekend, he already secured public money to make upgrades to the Blazers arena. He's barely been here a month. He's treating a team like a private equity firm. That's something you can get away with in America. You can't get away with it in Canada.
Beyond that, you can't get away with it in the global aspect of the sport. So when we talk about the thing is, it's these pro rel people always come in. Well, they just need pro rel, but it's like, okay, MLS has the money to ensure the travel, right? The accommodations, to ensure like like literally the league surviving, right? So this is what the billionaires do. They set the floor, right? But then the ceiling is so far low of any. It's like a studio apartment. It is what this MLS is, right? And so like all the amenities are there. All your Maslow's needs are filled. Yeah, you have a team. Yeah, you have this. You have that. But then like the potential for this to actually become a wider thing is still just limited by the billionaires. At the end of the day, this is single entity, right? And it is the biggest thing against MLS that I throw my hands up every time when people are like, well, yeah, you just like this. I'm like, no, I fucking hate it. But it's the hand you've been dealt. You can either, I mean, for me, it's like you can either, complain and not show up and not do anything like that, right? Freaking Jeremy, whatever. He put something in the chat. But it's like there's a lot here that it's like it's the hand you've been dealt with. It is a billionaires club. You could just you could just give up on this. And there's been times where I've almost given up on MLS. I think COVID I almost got there during COVID, just because, I mean, you add to the not only do you add to the despair of the lockdown and what that was, and like losing soccer for that much, but even then, like realizing like, oh yeah, like this league like grinded through COVID. You know what I mean? I think the fact that it survived through COVID is quite the testament to the single entity, right? That's what keeps it afloat. But it's times like these, it's situations like these that really kind of remind you why. It's like, I think Jeremy had a great point. It's like this could be your team. Yeah, for as good as the Vancouver Whitecaps have been, you know what I mean? Like, I can look at other teams around the state, around the league, that have also had just kind of a bad hand dealt to them in terms of like stadium accommodations, in terms of like revenue, in terms of market relevancy. I mean, God, there's a contingent of Rapids fans that are always joking about relocation, because it very well could happen to any of your teams. But I want to throw it to you guys for any final words on this one before we move on. I mean, it is kind of the most touching thing in MLS right now. And I felt like after, 2 weeks off, yeah, a week and a half off, we had to lead in with this one. But does anyone have any other things to add when it comes to Major League Soccer's handling of the Vancouver Whitecaps?
I do. I just wanted to say one more thing, and this also speaks to me a little bit, but Jeremy mentioned the Vancouver Stadium and how much easier it would be to build a stadium in the US than it is in Canada because of public funds. The Kansas City Royals are building a new stadium downtown, and they just released plans for that. But coincidentally, no real numbers behind the funding, which is weird, right? Why would they not do that? Look, shiny new stadium. Ignore the public funds we're going to need. But quick calculations say it's going to be about $1 billion in public funds. And they don't want to take it to a vote, because the last vote to fund a Royal Stadium failed. And the problem with that is that these billionaires are like, okay, we're going to take it to a city that does have the funds, and we're not going to feel bad about it. So these cities like Vancouver, like Kansas City, and the citizens specifically, the citizens who would benefit the most from these public services that use public money, are forced to be held hostage by these billionaires, because we don't want to pay in to their stadiums that they want to build, or their ballpark villages they want to build, or whatever they want to build with public funds. I'm not saying that a downtown Royal Stadium would not be cool. I think it'd be great. Where the Royal Stadium is at currently is terrible. It's out by Arrowhead where the Chiefs are. And it's a meme how funny it is with how big the parking lot is there. A ballpark stadium or a downtown ballpark is awesome. Don't get me wrong. However, I hate the idea of having to use public funds, a lot of public funds, $1 billion in public funds to fund something that the owner could pay for. And if we don't succumb and we don't give in to his needs, he can just pick up the franchise and leave the city, putting us between a rock and a hard place. And that's just one of the most maddening things about American sports as a whole, is that we just are forced to live by and play by the rules of people who are not nearly as affected by these things as we are.
Well, fucking said. Well said, Josh. Again, it is a billionaire's plaything, and you're just a part of it. But fellas, let's talk about the soccer, because I thought this past weekend was a pretty good weekend. Starting first with Sunday night soccer, the only game on the slate there, LA Galaxy versus RSL, a game in which LA Galaxy, it's like, what have we said for a while? With Peck, they're okay. With Peck and Paintsill, they're the team that they are always kind of were meant to be. And with those two options out there, I mean, LA Galaxy is always gonna be in a position to win, and always gonna be in a position to fight for these ones. But what did y'all make of this Sunday night soccer? RSL on a little bit of a loss here. Good overall, good hate watch from yours truly here.
Did you guys see last Wednesday that Marco Royce was starting as striker?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is. This is a good RSL team, right? We can all on this podcast admit that through 9 weeks, this is a good RSL team. Everybody but Juan. We can all admit that. I wouldn't want to see Charlotte play this team next week. I don't know if Josh wants to see Sporting Kansas City play this team, or if Jeremy wants to see play this team.
I'll literally be there in Sandy, Utah next week when the Portland Timbers are playing them.
So I'm personally not going to put a whole lot of stock into LA Galaxy with one really, really good win, but I will say they do look a lot better when Arbor Miller's out there and Marco Royce is playing in the midfield and not playing striker. So I don't
mind Marco Royce at striker, to be honest with you.
You said you like it?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't mind it. They're missing Klaus. They're missing Klaus.
Is Marco Royce stretching defenses for him though? Is he pressing?
No, but he's collecting the ball in midfield and then hitting Peck and Paintsill on the transitions.
Do you know where he would be really good at doing that at?
Where?
The midfield.
Well, I mean, it's just a false. He's just playing as a false 9. I mean, he's playing as a 9.5.
Did you guys?
I mean,
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's because okay. So here's the thing. I like Elijah Winder, I like Edwin Cerrillo, and I like Lucas Sanabria. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you fit all three into the midfield there. And so of all three, I think Cerrillo starts regardless. But in a 4-3-3 with those three behind Marco Royce, and Royce comes down to collect for the playmaking. I mean, it's no different than if I wouldn't feel differently if Pooj was at the striker position. You know what I mean? And then he had just three guys working off the ball for him to do all this. But I guess it was just a one-time thing. I will see if they go back to it again. But without Klaus, I mean, I was ready for this team to kind of and that's the thing is Klaus really that guy, or is he just a really good piece once he joins this team with talent? You know what I mean? I think that's the thing about Klaus and Royce is they have got the talent, they can play at that position, and then just work off the talent around them. It's I still think it's Paintsill and Peck. This team is just that those are the two guys that, whether it's Peck on the ball, Paintsill off the ball, those guys are just electric. And so you need both of them though on both sides, or else the Galaxy are just buns, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
As we saw SKC beat LA Galaxy without those two.
True.
But
bang.
I'll throw it over to everyone else for RSL though. What are you thinking, Chill?
Did you guys see the big news to come out of RSL these past 2 days?
Big news.
Xavier Gozo live on a podcast says that he wants to move to Europe this summer. The right side of their attack is so important, and it's so rare in this league. You hear a young person say directly into a camera, yes, I want to go to Europe this summer at the age of 18. So good for him. I love the ambition. But is this going to be the same RSL team post-World Cup? Are they in a honeymoon phase, Mr. Jeremy Peterman?
Oh, God. You're asking me if RSL is about to embark on we're really, really good for a half season, then we sell our best player and suddenly we're not as good gimmick?
Sounds familiar. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
I can't say I'm surprised at all to hear that. However, Gozo, by the way, I feel for the people in RSL's communications department. It's just like right after that, they're probably just like, Xavier, what was that about going to Europe? Like, not exactly what you want to hear, but also something that, like, I mean, everyone assumed he'd be getting European offers. It's nice to hear that he's open to them. It really brings joy to my heart because, you know, they're going to get accepted. There's going to be a price that RSL's ownership group is going to see, and they're really going to like that. I thought it was interesting that both of their games this week, at least the midweek and the end, because they lost at home to Miami, they lost on the road in LA. They got a little bit jobbed based on how hard they played in the second half. And honestly, it's on them for failing to take the lead right out of halftime because they were gifted an own goal right before the halftime whistle in this game. They were unable to capitalize on it, though. Sometimes you get those gifts when you play a team as bad as the LA Galaxy, who are still a bad team, who are still figuring out exactly what they want to do, who they want to be. And that's unfortunate, guys. You know, I really feel bad that RSL has lost 2 straight games. They have like everyone else. Basically, they have 5 more games left until the World Cup. I am circling May 16th on the calendar because I cannot wait for the Rocky Mountain Cup. Oh my God, that has Game of the Year potential. It really does. Because
Don't say that.
Well, Hell is Real is taking a back seat. I want a rivalry just to spring up and actually be competitive in its place. Rocky Mountain is checking those boxes for me this year. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see if RSL is able to ride that momentum of the hot start, and most importantly, because they do have a very young team, whether or not they're able to recover after dropping 2 straight. Because for a young team, that could send them into a bit of a tailspin. You don't know.
Joss, any thoughts on your favorite team, or do you want to transition to Montreal, New York City?
Well, I don't know why you said favorite team, Juanners. Just because I was right and you were wrong doesn't mean you need to put that on me. But no, I have maintained that I've really liked RSL. I think Gilavogi's probably better for this system than Olatunji is. Even though Olatunji's been there longer, I've liked more from what I've liked what I've seen out of Gilavogi more this season than I have really liked of anything Olatunji's done in Salt Lake for as long as he's been here. So my take is that, you know, Gilavogi should be the starter, but it's definitely not a bad idea to have 2 quality number 9s. It reminds me of like Alan Polito and Willie Agata. God, life was so much better. But maybe if Gozo shakes things up a little bit and moves, maybe that calls for a change in system away from this 5-back system, this 3-back, 5-back hybrid system that RSL plays, to one that has 2 strikers for Gilavogi and Olatunji. Maybe that's been the plan the whole time. I'm not sure. But no, that's my only take, is that I think Gilavogi should ultimately be the starter. And for the Galaxy, this feels like a pretty season-defining win, honestly. Like, is probably their best win of the season so far. Gets some of the pressure, I think, off of Greg Vanney. And I was looking at Marco Royce's heat map, and although he played as a striker, he was pretty much all over the pitch for most of the game. He was doing shifts as like an 8. He was doing shifts as like a 10-9 hybrid. And it's just great to see that he's still able to do that at his age. I wouldn't say that he's been a flop so far in MLS, but he hasn't really like hit insane hype. He's probably like, I don't know. I think he's probably like Chicharito level, LA Galaxy level. That's probably like the level that I put him at. Like, not a Zlatan, not a Beckham, not a Donovan. A tier or 2 below that. That's about where I have Chicharito. Giovanni Dos Santos maybe is above that as well. But that's about where I have him so far. It's just it's cool to see him doing all those different roles when he's like 36 and doesn't have to.
let's go to Montreal, fellas. Hypothetical Montreal. Got a second win off a great
New York City.
assist from Matthew Longstaff into Owusu, and they carried that early 1-0 in the 18th minute all the way to the end. Very surprising that they were. I mean, at home, you know, they just sat back and were fine with the counterattacking style of play here. A field tilt of 35 for Montreal, 65 for New York City Football Club. Sorry. And then this is an NYC team without Hannes Wolf. They got Arnau Farnos in there, but again, we had
Thanos.
another. They got Thanos.
They got Thanos in there.
Yeah, an interesting one here for New York City. What do you guys make of this one?
No,
Very
no baseball
funny.
stadium. Aw.
Guys, the alarm bells are going off at Yankee Stadium or City Field, whichever ballpark is available. New York City are winless in their last 6. And, I mean, it's not exactly like they faced a murderer's row of teams, have they? I mean, okay, actually, I'm about to completely disprove that, but whatever. They lost at home to Miami. They allowed a late equalizer to St. Louis. They lost on the road to Vancouver. They lost at home to Charlotte. Now, Daniel, Charlotte isn't the best road
Met
team,
Stadium,
are they?
not Yankee Stadium.
I know, but Charlotte isn't the best road team, and you are the baseball team. So how are you failing to defend your home diamond? Failing to defend that. The midweek collapse they had against Cincinnati was literally hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And I think it says more about them than losing 1-0 to Montreal at the end of a double game week. So keep in mind, they were up 4-2 entering second half stoppage time against Cincinnati. They allowed a rocket from the center back, Churula. Congratulations to him. I mean, it was a good goal. And then they just gave away a penalty. More on that later. But, this is a New York City FC team that's suddenly in a lot of trouble. And I think it's because they can't get an opposing team's player sent off every week, which was a huge driver to their early season success, constantly playing games against 10 men. They are officially on fraud watch. I'm putting them there. And tomorrow they play the Red Bulls in Open Cup. It's going to be a lot of fun. But then on the weekend, Trapgate, DC United at home. Let's see where things go. Congratulations to Montreal. Joey, I'm still disgusted in you. You have not reached out to any of us in regards to our frequent proposals to try and take over this team. Our phones are open. You can contact our business manager. I'll hire a business manager for you to contact us through. Handle all inquiries. Get this team some goddamn DPs. Seriously. They I don't want to bring SKC into this, but SKC has 2 DPs on the roster. They have tried to build part of it, and you're trotting out. Actually, I like all these players who they trotted out. What the hell's a Noah Street, though?
Noah Strait. Put some respect on Noah Strait, because I do quite like Noah Strait.
Yeah.
Can I give my 2 observations, and then I would love to hear what Joss has to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
So watching NYCFC, my main thoughts these last 2 or 3 weeks have been, man, they really, really miss Justin Hack because they make a ton of mistakes from the center back position. They gave away like multiple balls to Montreal's midfield. Granted, like that's like a weak point for Montreal, and they just kept giving them the ball. So maybe don't get rid of your best player, second, top 3 player. And then Prince Owosu and Ivan Jame. I had to look it up. I think it's Jame, correct? Is that how you pronounce it?
Jaime.
Two very good players. Our first move as managers of CF Montreal will be making sure those two get as many touches as humanly possible. That's all I got. Joss.
Guys, let's not pretend that NYCFC haven't had very much recent success against Montreal. Over the past 3 games, they've lost every one by a combined score of 4-0. This Montreal team is a powerhouse. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Montreal have won the last 3 games against NYCFC without conceding a goal. 4-0.
Last 4 games.
Last 4 games.
It gets worse.
Last 4 games. Now, yeah, including this game. 4 games.
Montreal has beaten NYCFC at NYCFC.
Yeah.
And New York Red Bulls. So Montreal just owns New York City.
Yeah, let's not pretend
Congratulations to them.
Isn't the powerhouse that they are. I think if you're looking for any tactical breakdown here, obviously new coach for Montreal. He's gone to like a zonal thing, which is nice.
What's his name?
God, don't make me pronounce it. Don't make me pronounce it. Philippe Ulefroy.
Philippe Eula. Isn't that what I gotta read before I agree to the terms or something? End user license agreement.
Yeah,
That's a really good one, Juanners.
Next one. That's still mean that you made me pronounce it. That's fine. Anyway, Alonso Martinez for NYCFC. For all my NYCFC fans out there, if you're wondering where Alonso Martinez is at, I have some inside news for you. A friend of mine is currently part of the Peace Corps in Costa Rica, and she actually lives on the same island that Alonso Martinez's family is from. She actually knows his brother. So, inside scoop from her, I should say, is that Alonso Martinez's brother keeps posting videos of his recovery and saying "Yakasi." Why?
Yakasi.
Yeah, Yakasi. Which
Let's
means,
get him on the pod.
I mean, I know what it means. What do you know? What do you think it means, Juanners? I know what it means, Yakasi, but what do you think it means?
It's the new striker, Yakasi.
It's David Lee's last word. David Lee's last word before moving on. It means almost. So he's on his way back, and this team gets a lot better with Martinez in the first 11. Obviously, they capitalize on chances that they're creating, and they'll shoot back up the table when he's back. But yeah, let's not pretend that this Montreal team haven't historically owned NYCFC.
Never going to pretend when it comes to Montreal. Never. We never pretend.
Never pretending about Montreal.
Let's dive over to Minnesota LAFC, a match in which Minnesota really should have. I mean, and this is the fucking thing with Minnesota is anytime I want to like cast them away as like, oh yeah, they're like I don't know, they're the toughest nut to crack. They're the toughest take to formulate because they beat the Portland Timbers, they beat FC Dallas, and it's like, okay, yeah, you were always this de facto kind of mid-table team that just beats the teams ahead of them, right? And then at home against LAFC, an LAFC team that was just willing to give you all of the ball. I mean, LAFC, this is a LAFC team that has had, let me count it. They played Cruz Azul. They played the Earthquakes, got pantsed by them, played the Colorado Rapids midweek, and then played at this one. Then they play tomorrow, or is it tonight? They play tonight. And tomorrow, whenever they play, guys.
No, Nashville plays tonight. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Major League moron.
trolled. He's trolling.
Regardless, LAFC have been playing a lot of games, right? So, and it shows. I mean, Dennis Bouanga was just running out there in this one, fellas. Like just not even just cardio, but just bro, someone give this man a fucking rest, dude. Let him just sit down for a bit. But overall, I really was expecting more from Minnesota in this game at home. Like, how do you let LAFC just Seattle you? They Austined them, to be fair. What does y'all anyone have some strong thoughts on this one? I mean, it was one more thing. Did that Martinez goal not remind you of Brian Rodriguez's roofer at home against LA well, it was at home for LAFC. I forget who it was against, but that Brian Ramirez roofer just I think this Martinez one was just a bit more special on the road. Great pass from Mustachio. Just they got talent, dude. LAFC or that team. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think you said it 100% correctly when you said they are built to be a middle of the league table. And last year I hyped them up. I was like, they're going to be so good in the playoffs. They play a very, very different style of ball, and teams are going to have to learn how to play their best ball in a 1-game series against them. And it's going to be awesome. No, it's just this. We are who they are who we thought they were. They are going to be a mid-table team unless they're able to finish on James's service much more consistently, because he provides some incredible service. But I think you said that pretty much 100% spot on. That Martinez goal was so sick, though, wasn't it? That shit was nasty. He is awesome.
Yeah,
Jeremy?
he is unbelievable.
Or Josh?
Go for it, Josh.
On this one?
I love, dude, W Martinez. He's finally coming in as that guy, that third guy. They haven't had a third guy really. They thought it might have been a Bsky for a little bit. That's maybe why they brought him in. But Son, Bouanga, Martinez, that's your front three. Those are your guys that can brute force wins just based on how good they are, And Jeremy's laughing. I'm curious to see why that might be.
Daniel's comment, throwing Giroud in there.
I think Olivier Giroud crawled so David Martinez could sprint.
True. And I'm so impressed by this roster build. They've still got 2 games a week, right? So they still got a double game weeks for the foreseeable future, and hopefully it continues. Or not, depending on who your fandom is, but I'd like for it to continue. But I think it's also nice to see some players coming back too, like Estachio is now back from injury. Aaron Long's come back, and this team is just so deep. And even though they just got, they didn't get wiped, but even though they lost to San Jose last weekend, or was it midweek? Was it midweek? No, last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah. Pants.
Yeah. They got pantsed by San Jose. I just think that their roster is so much deeper than San Jose's that eventually there will have to be a fall off from this Bruce Arena side. There will have to players will get hurt. They won't have the requisite players to come in and take the mantle, and then LAFC will eventually peak again, and I think probably finish first in the West. But that's the depth is what impresses me the most. It's honestly looking like it's better than it's honestly based on what we've seen so far this season, it's looking better than Inter Miami's depth. Just putting that out there.
Jeremy, take us to San Diego, Portland.
I am so happy you went with me because you went with me to go to this next game to start off with, because I have a concept to introduce to everybody. I warned the members of this panel that I had a boiling hot take that I was saving for this pod. And it is about how every single team in this league, if they want to consistently win games, they need a game-breaking super sub winger they can bring in off the bench. Now, I'm going to label this the Georgie Manungu.
I was going to say it.
Needs a Georgie Minungu. Now, we'll get into his suitability as a starting player for the Colorado Rapids whenever we get around to the Rapids. But when he was in Seattle, he made his name as a guy who comes off the bench with 20 minutes left and just takes advantage of tired fullbacks and always is able to use his elite dribbling and speed to get in behind and always offer a goal threat or a creative threat while your team is either controlling the game or is chasing the game. That's what makes this player so valuable. No matter what game state, it is always worth bringing them on the pitch because they'll either help you increase the lead or they'll help you close the gap. Or if the game is tied, like this San Diego-Portland game was since the 31st minute, they'll help you take the lead. Anthony is a Georgie Minungu, guys, and I am tired of pretending that he is a starter because Anthony off the bench is far more effective than Anthony starting. And this game was further proof of it. I saw it last year when the Timbers played Club America in Leagues Cup. He comes on at halftime, immediately starts blitzing Club America. And for whatever reason, the Timbers couldn't finish off any of those counterattacks. They couldn't finish off any counterattacks in this game because Anthony misses a chance worth 0.87 XG in a 1v1 with Duran Ferry, who is our Bellman of the week because he just cannot stop coming off his line, guys. He can't. There are 3 major moments in the second half where a Timbers player gets in behind, and because San Diego and Mikey Veras is a stubborn fuck and he refuses to try and do any kind of change to his system, and he keeps letting Hervik Lozano. He says, we don't need Hervik Lozano. No, we don't. You're going to turn to David Vasquez after a week like this, whose most important contribution is just hopefully hitting a little cross that ends up deflecting off of Brandon By's hand, which allows Anders Dreyer to step up and give San Diego its only shot on target of the first half despite having the ball for 60% of the time. Are you kidding me, Mikey? Ron Ferry is our Melman of the week because San Diego's high line is becoming suicidal. It's the biggest reason why they've lost 5 straight games. It brings me immense joy to report on San Diego's second season syndrome. I was listening, I believe it was last night or 2 nights ago, to the Open Cup content delay episode we did. And Joss, the hero that he is so happy that San Diego is suddenly in the pits of despair. You don't learn much about an MLS fan base until you see how they act under pressure. This San Diego fan base, credit to them, they are chanting for Hervik Lozano's name after this game. They are allowing Barris to get up on that microphone, look like an absolute idiot. As pregame, he says, no chance when asked if Lozano could ever feature in the plans for this team. Despite losing 4 straight games, he's choosing the system over their centerpiece player, who, you know what? Hervik Lozano is bigger than the entire San Diego FC. He is. That is a fact. An absolute fact. He is the biggest Daniel, don't thumbs down me. He is the biggest reason.
Anders and Dreyer exists, pal.
Hey, you know,
Oli Malakari exists, pal. He literally exists.
Did you see
Chucky.
the crowd shots from this game? It is a beautiful, well, actually, it was like a slightly rainy Saturday night in San Diego, and they're already dealing with the empty seat syndrome. Their fans are already coming to the stadium dressed up like empty seats. So, you know, a lot of them were coming to see Chucky last year. The team being good was absolutely a factor in that. But, you know, if he's not here in year number 2, San Diego, even though they don't have like any professional sports team outside of the Padres and the San Diego Wave right now, how can you not get more people to the stadium? Oh, right, because you guys decided that your system was more important than anything else. You thought you had this league cracked in year one through your bullshit tactical identity that made everybody foam at the mouth because objectively it worked for a little bit. Then you got found out, and suddenly every single team realized, oh, if we just get in behind and force Chris McVay and Manu Dua to make a play, we either score a goal or they get sent off. That's a pretty good that's a pretty good thing, to figure that out. The Timbers had so many chances to make them pay for their own stubbornness in the second half, but Anthony couldn't finish. Anthony got called offside. The most frustrating refereeing decision I saw was Ferry coming off his line against Alexander Aravina, fouling him. Somehow the foul goes against Aravina, which wipes off Kevin Kelsey putting in his second goal of the game from distance into an empty net, because Ferry, if you look at his heat map, he's got a fair amount just in the middle of the field for whatever reason. They cannot defend. And now Tverskov picks up a knock in this game. He has to come out early. Guys, they're in trouble. San Diego's in trouble. This is what we wanted. We needed them to face the adversity. They're facing it right now. And you let the 2026 Portland Timbers win a game on the road. How ashamed of yourself should you be? Jesus Christ. San Diego fans want Mikey Veras fired because, once again, Chucky Lozano is bigger than the club. I don't know if there's anything more I can say there. Good job, Timbers. You did it. Go to Salt Lake this week. If you beat Salt Lake this week, then I will be convinced. But the biggest problem with the Portland this year is they've been unable to follow up any of their wins with any kind of encouraging performance. They beat Columbus week 1. Immediately they go to Colorado next week. Pants. They beat LAFC 2-1, rotate LAFC. They go to Minnesota. Pants. Show that you could carry some momentum. Otherwise, I'm not going to get too excited about this win, even though in the moment I was thrilled because I like this team winning with late goals. It's the only way they know how to win this year. Oh, well.
Joss, Daniel, anything to add on those, on either of those two teams?
The story of Icarus comes for us all. San Diego, you flew too close to the fucking sun, and this is what happens, okay? Your wings melted, your glue melted, and you fell flat on your face. Your high line melted, and now you get sending off every other game. That's what happens. You challenge the basic necessities and the basic building blocks of Major League Soccer, and this is what occurred. Okay, you can have a good expansion year. You can be a good expansion team, but this is always what happens. You didn't crack the code. You know what? And Bruce Arena, a guy like Bruce Arena is currently top of the league right now because this guy gets it. This guy's been in the league. He knows what it's like to suffer, and he's been able to get teams turned around and end that suffering. Mikey Veras, this is where you earn your stripes. This is where you earn everything that you're paid, okay? You come to terms with, hey, maybe Irving Lozano is actually important to have in this team, okay? You come to terms with the fact that your ego is not nearly as important as the success of this team and the success of this 11. And Irving Lozano is an excellent player that would start for every team in this league, bar maybe LAFC. I don't know. You might throw him out on the right, depends on how you feel about David Martinez. But he starts for every other team in this league. And to just say, nope, we're good, that is a damning non-answer for what you're paid to do. This is deserved.
Not just that. They refused to sign any other DP. They said, we're going to enter this year with CCC early season, and we're only going to have Dreyer. He's going to be our only DP. We're only going to have 2 U22s, one of whom is Pedro Soma, who can barely get on the pitch now. Jesus Christ, this whole club is just run with arrogance because Tyler Heaps is like he was sniffing his own farts for the majority of last year. Varys was also. Daniel, yes.
We
Before I
don't
say
know.
something regrettable.
We don't know exactly what happened between Mikey Veras and Chucky. Correct?
Sniffing his own farts.
I have a pretty good sense of what happened, and it
You have
was
a good
because
sense of it, but we don't know, right? Have you guys seen Ted Lasso?
Yes.
I feel like he's getting hit with the season 1 Jamie Tart treatment, and I kind of love it. I'm ready for the sitcom. Bring it out.
Yeah, but then Irving has to go back to like his parent club and then come back after he goes on a reality show.
True. So he's gonna go on Love Island.
He's gonna go.
I was about to say Love Island.
He's gonna go on Love Is Blind.
No, let's get Chucky on Traders.
Oh, God.
Yo,
That's actually
Traders
a great
Mexico.
show.
Traders Mexico. That's my shout.
actually,
let's go over.
Funny. There's a lot of MLS references in dating shows recently. Love Is Blind had a former Minnesota United player on it, and there was a different one that had a former Vancouver player on it.
Damn,
Yeah.
they let Reynoso back in the country for that.
Yeah, hold on. I know. The Minnesota one was funnier because he kept talking about how he thinks the club failed him.
Well, there was that dating show Marco Fabian was on. Did y'all see that one?
Oh, what a
No.
bull!
No.
Oh my god!
Marco Fabian was on a Peacock original. Oh my god, it was so bad. Love Undercover, where oh my god, the premise of the show is like everybody and the most famous guy on. Okay, so here it is. The premise: Fabian joined 4 other international soccer stars, including Ryan Babel, Jamie O'Hara, and some other. I forget who it is, but what happened is like Fabian was just snubbed by all the women, even though he was the most decorated of all the football players. But it's that whole thing of like America, they don't know soccer players, right? So they're just in this house, and it's like, who is the guy that you guys are gonna date? And no one picks Fabian. Man, it's quite the secondhand embarrassment. Honestly,
Yeah,
I recommend everyone watch
yeah.
that.
With this the Alex guy. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my laptop. I'm on USA Today, so there's a million ads playing right now. But yeah, my whole laptop's frozen now. Awesome. I'm breaking. Okay, I'll be quick with this. Alex Henderson, who he was drafted as Alex Farrell to Minnesota United in 2017. He on the show called Tim Howard a weirdo, and he called David Beckham not even good. And he said that the day he was drafted was the worst day of his life because he went in the second round. He went in the second round, and he thought he should have been top 5 or top 10. Yeah, as a goalkeeper, by the way.
Well,
Lore.
with that, let's go over to Daniel for the Texas Derby.
Yeah,
One of the Texas Derbies, I should say.
You guys just missed me at a really vulnerable moment. Haney scored, and I jumped up and fist pumped, and then it got called offsides. Sorry about that.
I thought you were just fist pumping the David Beckham's not good take. Like, yeah,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on.
Fuck that guy. Inter Miami, am I right? do the accent, Daniel. Bitch, I'm from Texas.
Feels about Austin and Houston.
I don't know what to make of these teams. Juanners. I really don't know. It's one of those games you watch them, right? And you see a lot of talent on the pitch, like Jaden Nelson. It's a shame he got hurt, right? Because he's a really good player. We know what he can do. But fantastic goal. Like he's like a cockroach. He just never goes away. And I have a feeling he's gonna come back from his injury and just be the same exact player when he's back.
Jaden, shame he got else. Sorry. Should not be reading chat. This is a professional podcast. But yeah, no, this is just one of those. This does not make me ask a lot of questions about Austin FC because they play the same exact. This is my 4th time getting to watch them play this year. They play the same exact time every time I see it. What'd you say?
My bad.
No, you're good. No, because every time I watch, like, I feel like I'm being gaslit by you guys about Muerto Ozuni because I actually think he's a really good player. He's just super unlucky. Like, I'm pretty sure I've watched him hit the post at least 7 times this year. Like, it's just super unlucky. And he's a really good distributor of the ball. Like, that first goal that Jaden Nelson had, like, that was – or, sorry, the Christian Ramirez, he had a very, very open shot on goal, like, in, like, the 40th minute that would have pretty much sealed it at that point. And you wouldn't have needed that Muerto Ozuni set piece to put it away. And Christian Ramirez just doesn't finish it, right? Which leads to questions of, hey, how much better could this team be if they had a proper DP striker like they currently have sitting injured, right? I do think they have a very high ceiling. I think their spine is good. I think their midfield play is very, very good. But these are also the strengths that you would expect from Houston when they go out and they have Jack McGlynn, who doesn't come into the 55th minute. They go out and get Double H because of his experience and what he provides in the midfield. Guilherme, one of the best attackers in the league, probably rookie of the year, like newcomer of the year status. That's how good he's been. Boys, do we have a breaking news?
I was gonna say, sorry.
No. I mean,
I was gonna no. I was gonna say we have an Open Cup moment. Dean Smith yelling at a fan.
Who yelling at a
fan? Dean Smith yelling at a fan.
Dean ball, bro. Listen,
Dean Smith yelled at a fan in the Open Cup.
I'll have to flip that.
And I was
currently watching Nashville Tigers. Fake fan.
It's already over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Charlotte lost.
Double.
You lost to Atlanta, Daniel?
That's what I get for not checking my damn phone. Man, you just killed my whole mood. Listen, I'm gonna get into all these East teams here in a little bit. So, like, we don't even need to talk about Charlotte. They're a travesty. But I do think this Houston team is not playing up to their potential. I think at what point are we gonna get those great moments that we saw from Matheus Bogus? Like, when are those coming? Because I haven't seen that happen through 9 games yet this year, right? At what point are we going to find out the best midfield pairing when you have Jack McGlynn, Arthur, and Ache? And when are they going to all find a way to get put on the pitch together? Because you have to find a way to get all your best players in the field in this league, right? And Jeremy's smiling, probably because he's trying to picture all 3 of them in the midfield together.
No, I'm looking at this Dean Smith thing. If you know they are shit, why do you play them?
Oh my god!
I'm playing shit players. Get it on a shirt.
Oh my gosh, that's a merch idea, Juanners. I like it. But no, I just think I think Houston is a very, very talented team, and they failed to realize their potential. And we talked about Ben Olsen potential firings last year, and I defended him. I'm not going to hop on that train this year because before we even got into this pod, I was getting clowned by Joss about some claims I made earlier in the year about firing head coaches. So I'm going to hold off on that hot take till about match week 24, I think. Future head coach firings, match week 24. But at some point, they're investing a lot of money into this roster. When are you going to start seeing a return on your investment? And if you have the talent for it, at what point do you start pointing at the manager and saying, hey, we're just not getting it done? Because Austin and Nico Estevez are getting it done, at least to the level of which their roster allows them to. And they're doing that without a proper DP9 and with their best player from a technical standpoint hitting the crossbar like 7 times in 4 weeks. So I see talent. I see potential. I see maybe a top 5 finish for Austin FC. I think Houston.
What?
They were right there last year, and they're better this year.
No,
no.
Daniel.
Daniel,
they haven't won. Loss against San Jose, draw against Toronto, loss against the Galaxy.
San Jose is
draw
really good.
Miami,
Toronto is really good. What was the third team you said there?
LA Galaxy loss.
Really good.
Home loss.
I see potential. I see potential here, Juanners, and it's a shame you don't.
Their last win was
They
March
got their
1st.
first win in 7 weeks, Juanners, against a rival.
And Houston's better, though. Houston is the better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston's a better team. They played like shit. Like, you know, if you're giving up a team goal of Nelson's quality, because the finish is great, but it's really just the passing and the buildup that I really took away from it. And I didn't think, oh, wow, this is something Austin can do. I was like, what the fuck, Houston? How are you allowing this? You're allowing Austin to have a good sequence of play that ends in a goal? What the hell?
Houston looks disjointed. They look inconsistent. We can say that at this point, right? I
But
think Austin
I'd rather
Austin
disjoint it
without
over
Christian
the
Spears is really good.
garbage that I see from Austin, dude. Austin is just, man. Like I know. Okay, sorry, Josh. I know SKC are kind of miserable to watch.
Oh, we're not.
But Austin, Austin are down here below miserable. Like Austin are like, yes, they have more wins. Yes, they have more points, but objectively they are a worse watch. Just everything against footy.
I disagree.
Daniel, I have seen horrendous Timbers teams go into Lumen Field and beat the Seattle Sounders year after. Oh, Jesus Christ, Joss. I've seen horrendous Timbers team go into Lumen Field and beat the Seattle Sounders year after year after year. You know what? Derby games do not really reflect the overall, like, how good a team is, because you got to wake up for those no matter what. You usually get the best version of a team in a derby game, but you aren't playing your rivals every week. I don't have, like, usually too many massive takeaways from the results of derby games, particularly home games where if we look at each team's midweek matchup, shit. I should have had this queued up. This is on me. If we look at each team's midweek matchup, San Diego, red carded San Diego. Congratulations to San Diego. God, I love San Diego so much.
But Houston got a red card too.
Yeah, well, Houston got a red card like after the game. And Austin, keep in mind, they had to go into San Jose and they got trampled. They got absolutely trampled midweek by San Jose. So I believe, like, historical levels of trample, underlying number, they were dog shit midweek. So when you're thinking about, like, which team is more likely to bounce back from or at least, like, do something on the weekend after Houston gets a 1-0 win against San Diego and Austin just gets the shit kicked in the airport, that's San Jose Stadium, because they play right next to the airport. When that happens, Austin has so much more to lose. Like, Nico Estevez still has a really hot seat. This isn't really so much of a turnaround. They played Joseph Rosales in midfield for this game. What the fuck? Austin is so funny because they have all the DPs, they've spent everything, and somehow Joseph Rosales is the most important player on the team. It's so funny.
I'm willing to make a wager with you, Jeremy Peterman.
Okay.
I'm willing to make a wager with you. By match week 22, Austin won't be in a playoff position. They will be above the bubble. And if they are,
Brandon Vasquez may come back this weekend, so
if they aren't,
we shall see.
I will wear an Atlanta United kit to the opening game next year.
Why not to the All-Star game? It's in your backyard.
That won't be week 22, and that we're relying on week 22. That's a very important number.
He just pulled week 22 out of his butt, so we got week 22, guys. Come on. I don't know when week 22 is. I'm not going to figure out that calculus right now, but
it should be sometime in September, correct?
I barely even know what day today is, fellas.
Yeah, you're saying that Austin will comfortably be in a playoff spot by week 22?
They'll be at least 7th.
Okay. They'll be at least 7th. I'm going to do the math on this really quickly, just so I know what portion of the season this is. 34, 33, 32, 31.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, no live math.
Okay, their 24th game of the season is September 9th at home against Colorado.
Easy dubs. Easy. It's easy.
Shout out Box State, by the way. So, was that coincidental? I hope not. If they are in a playoff spot after, like, comfortably in a playoff spot, and I vote, I would say comfortably as in, like the 4 or more points clear of the wild card, because that would require 2 results to go.
Man, this is the blind resume all over again.
At least 7th. At least 7th. At least 7th. Not 4 points out.
At least 7th, not 4 points out. Okay,
Yeah.
because they could be 4 points out and being like 6th or something like that. Okay,
I have a better
At least
proposition.
7.
I say Austin will never make it above the playoff line this season.
I am more willing to take that action.
Come on. Get out
Yeah.
of here with
I don't
5th,
think they're
7th,
doing
whatever. Austin are trash. Austin are
frauds.
so bad. And the reason Austin fans are so upset at this is because they won this match. They wanted to see Estevez fired. I've been
No, that's
seeing
my guy.
fans like, this is one I wish we lost so that Estevez could have had that additional pressure on him. And I want to give the Brandon Vasquez benefit of the doubt, but we also saw this team last season with Brandon Vasquez, and it wasn't that much better. So I'm gonna officially move on from Austin now to a team that's actually fucking cooking. San Jose Earthquakes, Joss.
Bang!
You got Seattle. I almost said Seattle. St. Louis, San Jose Earthquakes. The Earthquakes came out, scored early, but then St. Louis got off to a quick 2-1 victory lead. But then San Jose said, no. We are that team. We are the Bruce Arena team. Promised to be, not this Nico Estevez garbo. I'm sorry. It's just no Nico Estevez. Only I almost said Don Garber. Only Bruce Arena. Joss, tell us about this match.
San Jose walked to St. Louis with a rotated lineup. It came out with a win. They rotated their goalkeeper because they've got an Open Cup game coming up this week. So they had to rotate their goalkeeper. They had to rotate their midfield. They had to rotate like Nico Tsakiris didn't start this game. Ronaldo Vieira didn't start this game. They both came in. Preston Judd started. Obviously, he scored, and he tweeted about it because he's hilarious. Get Preston Judd on this podcast immediately, bro. I know you're watching, and I know you want to be on it. Preston Judd. Get him on. But the vibes are amazing in San Jose right now. They're 5-0-0 on the road. They have the best 10-game start in MLS history ever. That's insane. Did anybody see this coming? I mean, I was looking at our preseason predictions before this episode started. Who do you think had San Jose ranked the highest, and where did he rank them? It was me. I had him ranked 9th. I had him 9th.
That.
It was me. I want you all to bow down and kiss my feet, but it was me. The San Jose team. Like, I didn't see it, and 9th, I thought I was being generous. I thought I was being crazy. I saw all of your predictions. I'm like, maybe they do miss the playoffs again. But no, they're not even. They are this year's Vancouver, and I think they're a better story. Not a better story. I think that they're a good story for different reasons. In that they're a team with a lot of guys that they've brought in that are kind of MLS lifers, if you will. Preston Judd. DeJuan Jones, they've got Daniel, not our Daniel, but like guys that this is probably the highest level that they're going to reach. But they've got a whole squad of them, and they've got a whole squad of them that are built in and programmed for Bruce Arena ball. And what is Bruce Arena ball? Might I add? Let me tell you. So, firstly, one of the best things about the San Jose team are their ability to win to counter press. Okay. Whenever San Jose loses the ball, either be from a shot that gets parried or a cross, or a shot that gets parried out by the defender, by the defending team, or by a tackle, like they win it back so well and so immediately. And that's a Bruce Arena ball in a nutshell. It's that pressure instantly from losing the ball. And he has instilled that in this San Jose team. This fun, like they're the earthquakes, like these are like, what is an earthquake? It's like a shattering, like you don't have a moment of rest, a moment of warning whenever an earthquake strikes. That is how San Jose basically plays. And I love that. I think we need more like anime style soccer references where we play like the team we're named after. What the fuck would a Sporting KC look like? I'm not sure. But San Jose Earthquakes, that I know that they play like what an earthquake feels like. And that's really fun. They cross a bunch. Also very big. Yeah, exactly. You can't, if you're in midfield and you're playing against the Earthquakes, you've got to be shaking because they're going to be on you like white on rice. Their best chances come from counterattacks and from crosses. And that's like Bruce Arena ball. And they've got Preston Judd, who for all of the years in the league, he's never been as good as he is now, but he's been pretty consistent. And I actually don't know. I should have looked this up before, but does Chris Wondolowski have a role within the Earthquakes right now? Does anybody know?
Vibes?
I wonder if they just have him, like, is he consulting Preston Judd on how to move in the box? Because Preston Judd's movement in the box has been outstanding this year, and it's so much like Wando. I wouldn't be surprised if they've called up Wando and just been like, yo, you come to our practices and you just teach Judd, or like show him how you moved, and we can do that. And I wonder if that's been something that they've done, because it has been outstanding. So yeah, like there's just so much to like about the Quakes. And Bruce Arena, we don't know what he said. So I'm not going to comment like I know what he said. But what I will say is that it is so good to see an MLS lifer coach take MLS lifer players. And also, like, let's not even mention that they brought in Timo Werner, who I didn't think would even be very good, but clearly I was wrong. I'm a stupid chud. But like, they brought him in, and he's been out, and he's been really good for them as well, getting assists. He got a couple of goals at the weekend. But that, like, it's so good to see an MLS lifer coach like Bruce Arena take MLS lifer guys and, come on, guys, coach is right, them into first in the league. That's kind of what it feels like. So, but like, it's obviously better than that. They're tactically really, really smart. They're obviously, they have a system that they play to, and that they understand, and that Bruce can get the best out of his players. As for St. Louis, I mean, it was a good performance for them. It was just like another bad result, but they have a good system in place. And Marcel Hartel is really like, Demey is getting a lot out of Hartel in the system, which is fun to watch. It's also nice because Leuven scored, I think, he scored against LA. Seattle, he scored. So just recently he scored, and that's nice. But their build up for Cordova's goal, that's what I was thinking of. For Cordova's goal was really, really nice. And I guess it's just kind of, we're waiting for the pieces to fall. I think they're going to be a lot like San Jose from last year, where they maybe just miss out on the playoffs.
Did you say you're waiting for the pieces to fall? Like maybe both of their goddamn center backs that haven't fucking started a game yet? Jesus Christ. Demey, you're killing me. Hartel's fun, though. Hartel's really fun.
You will get Lucas McNaughton, and you will like it.
Yeah. I think a notable aspect of this game from the San Jose perspective is Bo LaRue doesn't see the field. Doesn't matter. Reed Roberts, he's been the starter next to Mooney for most of the season. He doesn't see the field. Doesn't matter. And Bruce is now just drinking beers in his press conferences. Like, he has earned the right to just oh my God, it's a Bruce Arena reference. Juanners drinking that Corona.
Oh my God.
I understood that reference. Yeah. San Jose is undoubtedly the story of the league this year. I can't add any more to what Josh said because he said it perfectly. But I had to mention the beer thing. I really did.
Daniel, any thoughts, or should I take us over to Vancouver, Colorado?
What's his beer of choice, Jeremy?
No. Michelob Ultra.
I'm just
I saw him with a Michelob Ultra after this game. I swear.
I'm just Joss's line of "Come on, boys, coach is right. We can go get him." Is going to live rent free in my head for the next 48 hours because I'm picturing High School Musical. Be right back.
Joss will be right back. I may also have to be
High
right
School
back, but
Musical. You got to refill your meter again?
no, I gotta piss. But no, I'll lead us off with Vancouver, Colorado here because when it comes to Colorado, I had already seen okay. I'm gonna take us to Colorado's 3 games this past week. Oh, he's back.
Bruce Arena
Take us to
reference.
Colorado.
Unfiltered wheat.
Ooh.
You know how they do in Kansas?
Respect Boulevard, bro. Respect Boulevard immediately. If they want to sponsor us, let me know.
I mean, you flashed the logos, so go drink Boulevard, guys. Go order Boulevard. All the KC residents in particular. But I want to take us to Colorado, Vancouver. More specifically, Colorado's 3 game. The 2 games beforehand, they played Miami at home in what was a very good showing for the Rapids. Moral victory there, even though it's a loss. Then you go midweek to LAFC. You get the moral victory of it being a 0-0 draw, something that the Rapids have never done. And so after that 0-0 draw, I said I'm gonna enjoy this because I already know it's happening. Rapids are losing, and I correctly predicted the scoreline, not in our Discord, but in a Rapid specific Discord. I said 3-1 Vancouver, Colorado, and sure enough, Vancouver beat them. I mean, we talked a lot about the relocation for Vancouver as well, but then in this one, I mean, they had Sabali. It's very funny to see now Kenji Cabrera just on the outs for this team. Maybe he should be a cash for. But man, what is there to say about this? About the Vancouver, dude? They are just playing like okay. Echoing everything about you said about San Jose, yes, they are a great team. I still think they're missing those 2 DPs, though. You know what I mean? Vancouver are complete. They're the team of destiny this season. Last year, it was Chicago Fire. It was will they, won't they make it? I'm gonna put Vancouver as my team of destiny now. I mean, this is a team with Oliver Larraz on the bench, so I'm very, very happy to make them my team of destiny here. I love Vancouver. I'm sorry, it's this one was one where I saw the Rapids just kind of just get steamrolled in that first half. Lots of questions in regards to Zach Steffen's play. Maybe warranted, maybe unwarranted. I have exhausted all my Zach Steffen. Oh, I hate him being this high earner on the team discourse. I'm past it when it comes to the Rapids. Okay, I think overall, when I look at the Rapids, I know Rafa Navarro, and this is my hottest take about the Rapids. I know Rafa Navarro gets all the goals. I know he's up there, up competing for these goal tallies. If he was the actual DP game-breaking winner that this team needed to be, it wouldn't be 0-0 at LAFC. He would win. Guys, Rafa Navarro has 0 game-winning goals. All his goals have come from a winning state or, at the very least, a state where the Rapids are down by more than 2 goals. So it's not like Rafa comes in and clutches up. And that's kind of the thing is like Jeremy said, you need a player off the bench that's going to run at defenses and whatnot. But you also need the game winner. You need a guy like an Anders Dreyer. Because I said this. This team reminds me of last year's San Diego, except they don't have a Dreyer. And I still don't think they have a Dreyer. I look at the DPs here. Paxton, very hard-working player, but that's the biggest thing that he's got going. Rafa Navarro scores goals, but he doesn't win games. And so I think, Daniel, you asked me before the show, is Colorado good? I think Colorado is good due to the coaching foundations of the team, but they're not elite, and that's going to be what bites them in the ass. It's going to be what prevents them from getting 3 points in LAFC or from beating an Inter Miami side at home. And, just you look at Vancouver and they've got game winners. They've got Thomas Muller. They got Brian White. They've got they've got like 4 electric wingers on their team in Bruno Caicedo, Emmanuel Sabali, G-Van Badwall, guys. G-Van fucking Badwall. What a player. But I'll throw it over to you guys. Any thoughts on either of these two teams? Anyone want to lead off with Vancouver, Colorado prop?
I shall. Bruno Caicedo, absolute demon. He is their official Manungu. The Rapids have the official Georgie Manungu. How long does it take until they say, San Diego, here's $1 million, give us Chucky? How long is it? He is. The problem is he's going to be going to another like Varys archetype, a coach who is so married to this system and probably won't tolerate anything other than full 100% effort, particularly in the press. But you got to try. You got to try for it. Vancouver finished the first half with 1.8 XG. They got a further 1.9 XG in the second half. They might be the greatest team I've ever seen.
No disagreements there. Team of Destiny.
Yep.
Beyond the Team of Destiny. Let's go over to the last year's Team of Destiny, Chicago Fire.
No.
Pull it out. Pull out the scarf. Pull out the scarf. Tell us.
Sorry, Wyatt Meyer. Sorry you had to see this, buddy.
What did he have to see in particular? Walk us through. Walk us through while you're holding the pose, though. Hold the pose and narrate the whole experience.
To watch Sporting KC in 2026, fellas.
On track to be the worst team in major. We go from the best team in Major League Soccer history to probably the worst. We have both.
We're so bad.
Here.
Bogart's writing about us, bro. Bogart's writing a whole piece about us.
Before you get into how bad it is, the wonderful mind behind Tom Booger tweeted out that this Sporting Kansas City team couldn't beat a college team.
I think like a really good college team, like we play like we're a college team. Like I think a pretty good college team probably smacks us around. I mean, like we saw that with like Colorado Springs Switchbacks. You know, I'm not saying they're a college team, but like, you know, where can I? Unfortunately, Chicago fans, I don't have a lot to say about Chicago. They're a great team. I think in the first half they got frustrated, but then Don Garber and Yahoo made some calls to the MLS Refereeing Association and said, "We need this win. Give them a penalty. Give them a penalty."
The best part about that is like, why do they need a penalty? It's SKC. They'll break through.
Hey,
Donjamin Garber Yahoo made some calls, bro, and it broke the back. It broke the back of Sporting Kansas City. It's unfortunate. Right. Anyway. And after that, it was basically just everything flew out the window. Capita, oh my God, Capita. My buddy. Oh fuck, it's frozen. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. We're back. Hold on. They're silencing.
We're getting the cursed level. Cursed level of season, bro. Yeah.
Dude, everything's breaking. That's awesome. Everything's breaking.
Horns up.
What the fuck is happening? Okay.
Here's what happened about SKC.
Dude, I don't know what just happened, but like everything's breaking.
You invoke the name of Netanyahu and StreamYard's coming out.
Don Garber made some more calls. Don Jamin made some more calls.
God.
Right. I'm gonna quote my buddy Kalen here, who's also a Sporting KC fan. He's a good follow if you're looking for a good still good Twitter users. Kalen
Kalen.
He's good. He's a good Twitter user, and he said that players like Kimpemba are perfect bad team wingers, where they're fast and can do nothing else. And he had two or three chances this game to put a ball in the back of the net, and he couldn't. All right, I'm turning off my camera. Maybe that's fucking me up. He had a few chances to put the ball in the back of the net this game, and he couldn't. And that's so frustrating to see, especially when he's supposed to be kind of. Yeah, we recreated Jerso in the aggregate. We moneyballed our way into Jerso Fernandez, and I'm not sure that that's much better. That's much of anything. This Sporting KC team, it's like putting toothpicks underneath your toenails and kicking a wall. That's what it feels like to watch them. Again, for that first half, I think for much of it, we were okay. And I was talking to a couple of other fans, because if I traveled to Chicago to watch this game, I was talking to a couple of other fans, and we all were talking about basically, hey, we need to get back to basics. And what are basics with soccer is like, if you don't concede, you won't lose. And for that first half, I actually thought that was kind of the plan. And for the most part, I thought we looked decent at doing that. There were a couple of chances that the ball got in behind. Unfortunately, the bad team winger Capita was the one who was running in on goal. Calvin Harris hit the post. So for that first half, I thought we were actually decent, and it looked like we were frustrating the Chicago Fire. And then the Chicago Fire remembered that they had Haile Selassie, Kuipers, Zinkernagel, and all it took was one penalty to break the back. A penalty that was saved, I should add, by Pulskamp. And then the rebound was put in off of like 9 guys. You should go watch that goal if you haven't. It's marvelous to watch. And from there, it all kind of fell apart. Chicago Sporting KC had to go after the game a little bit. Chicago was easily able to counter, and we lost 5-0. And you might be thinking, wow, 5-0. Surely those are the most goals you ever conceded in a half. You'd be wrong. You'd be incorrect. The most goals you actually ever conceded in a half is 6. It's tied for 6. One of them against Jeremy's Portland Timbers. I don't know if you remember that game, Jeremy, but I do.
Oh, I do remember that game. That was the game. I like to refer to that game as the one that made Kevincho quit Twitter, but we know that's not true. Speaking of which, I wonder what he's up to right now. He has to be completely disassociated from this SKC team.
Yeah,
it is. Oh,
he actually posted us on his story, and I just responded and said, "I'm tired, boss." And yeah, we had a little conversation about it. But this Sporting KC team is historically bad. Their XG differential is over 2 goals a game. The XG differential is over 2 goals a game. Any team with a pulse is putting up 2 goals on us. Are you kidding me? Our expected goal difference, dude, entirely minus 18.5. Our expected goals is
in April
5. We have 4 points. We're the bottom team in the league. 4 points. Minus 18 GD in April. Oh man. In the post game conference, Sporting KC, Rafa Wiki was asked, "Hey, was this harder than you thought?" And he said, "Yeah." What's that? Is this?
It's the worst transfer window of all time tweet, and it shows your entire last window.
Oh yeah, dude, is that from SEC?
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. They're calling him Radoya 2.0, bro. In certain sections of the fan base, like it's
Lossy.
Lossy, yeah, they're saying he's Radoya 2.0.
They don't know ball.
Oh, that's harsh.
When you're this low, you can only go up.
Over.
Hey, I'd rather
We're
lose
back at
5-0 once than 5-1-0 games. That's all
yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
Spread those out.
we're gonna
Where
lose
was that
five.
love
We're
Boston
gonna lose
against
5-5
San Jose
nil.
corners?
We're gonna lose 5-0 game, Juanners. That's what's happening. Like we're not good enough to only lose 1-0. 1-0 is that's basically a win. We have the most losses in the league since 2022 with 76. For the first time since 2012, we're back as a club. We're back at a 500 record.
That's a crazy
Sheesh.
stat.
Yeah. In 2018, we were I think we were at like a 700 record. It's the drop off has been insane. Obviously, it's going to be insane. Replacing Peter Vermes, who was the head of everything, was going to be insane. So when David Lee came in, I don't have a lot to blame guys like David Lee for, because he's basically having to fill out a club and give out make a data analytics portion of the club. We didn't have that before. We didn't have a scouting network before. He's having to do all of that. I don't blame him a lot for these. I don't blame Wiki a lot for these. I think that Wiki's trying to do the best with what he can get. I think it's really just a matter of really poor circumstances. I think the 3-back system that we employed is probably our best bet at anything, because at the very least we can try and frustrate until Donjamin makes calls again. But I think for the most part we're actually that's where we need to be. We just need to get back to basics and try our best to not concede, because if we don't concede, we won't lose. Be like Austin FC. And then maybe we can, on the break, get Kapita hopefully in on goal, Dejan Jovic in on goal, Calvin Harris in on goal, and maybe steal some wins there. There are some bright sides here. This is from the Tom Bogert article. We only have 6 total players with different deals at the club. We have 3 TAM players, 2 DPs, and 1 U22, which is tied for the fewest in MLS with, surprisingly, Montreal and San Jose. So it's possible to do good things, as San Jose has shown, but it's also possible to be really bad, like we've shown.
What? That's crazy.
What is that for?
Do you just hit Josh, bro? What the fuck?
For those who are not watching, Juanners just put in a beautiful map from MLSstat.bsky.social showing the embarrassing field tilt from this game. Chicago with 84% and SKC with 16%. And the amount of passes the SKC had in the final third, I'm pretty sure I can count individually, which is not usually something that you see on these kinds of graphics. So,
Hey, how about
Josh,
Willem Stinkernagel, though?
Yeah, it's SKC, bro.
Come on.
You can't take anything from this game for Chicago, really.
You can. You can.
You can, though. They're the best team in the East.
No. my point here is how bad we are. And Peter Maluk, save us, Peter Maluk. Billionaire, get in here. For some reason he keeps responding to Carrie on Twitter without getting added. Eventually something will happen. Peter Maluk, please fund the Off to the Wizards hype house. I'm just
off to save the Wizards.
Fuck, chills. But for everything that's gone wrong, Chicago was a fun away trip. It was fun jawing at 13 and 14-year-olds. If you're old enough to jaw at me, I can throw smoke back. Okay. The funniest one was definitely singing "Just Like the Bears, We Lose Every Week." Whenever, it was probably the 4th or 5th goal we conceded. And then the kids would jaw at us, and I would say, bro, go back to Joliet. What are you doing? You still got to drive back to Joliet after this. And he went, I'm from Michigan. Buddy, that's worse. Buddy. Uh-oh, idiot. Uh-oh, dumbass.
You little moron.
Bro,
Josh, so
this
really
whole
quickly,
segment is getting clipped. Oh my god.
you're beating Seattle this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put my mortgage on that.
About the wager that Daniel just made about Austin FC. They are second bottom in X goal difference in X goal difference, Daniel. So
wait till they get a real DP9 this week. This week,
Brandon Vasquez. So I'm just saying, like, I probably would have taken that bet, but that's just me. Yeah, we're gonna beat Seattle this week, and we're gonna get things back on track. We have $6 million in GAM as well, I might say. So this is the suffering will continue. The suffering has to continue. But when things turn around, I want y'all to remember that I was here. I was here. So whenever we get that third star, y'all will remember that I was suffering. I was suffering so hard. The bandwagon, because we're going to see so many Sporting KC jerseys with, I'm trying to think, with Lamine Yamal on the back. It'll be like just like Messi 2.0. I just think it's this bad. It's this bad, and suffering right now. It's hard. I mean, and KC soccer as a whole lost 2 games by a combined score of 9-0. Okay, things are bad. Things are not good. Thank you, Chris Armas. By the way,
Yay.
So yeah,
this is what happened. This is what you got to give up for World Cup games, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
So go ahead and fork over the $10,000 to go to these games. Put the money, put the hot dog, and well, you can't even put the hot dog in the bag because you can't tailgate.
I can't afford
so.
I can't afford a hot dog.
I spent all my money
because I spent $10,000 on my tickets.
We're eating ice soup for 3 months. Yeah, Sporting KC are historically so bad. Things are so bad. I have no tactical analysis really to give. Jake Davis is an okay right wing back. I'll just throw him out there. Mono Garcia, I still like you a lot, Mono Garcia. Ian James, brother, I'm so sorry. It was fun to meet. Who was that? Who's the guy at LAFC 2 whose dad I met? Juan.
Tommy Mihalic.
Yeah, I met his dad at the game, and he was very complimentary of the Sporting KC away fans. So that was good, I guess. But yeah, the most fun part was definitely just yelling at Chicago fans because, you have a football stadium still. Ha.
Hey man,
not for long. Also, really quickly, I have one last SKC point to make. The Western Conference wildcard spots are going to be decided by which team runs up their goal differential on SKC twice, and it's just a fact. It's literally just a fact. Like SKC this year is the free space on the bingo card that every team has to hit. So based on that, the Galaxy are not making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and then at the end of the game, when some of the players came over and clapped, I guess respect for doing that, but shut the fuck up. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I had to watch that, and then Wyatt Meyer. I know you saw this. I'm sorry you had to see this, but I'm not. Get better. You all need to get better. For all our audio listeners, I stood in the second level of Soldier Field because that's where the away fans go in Chicago, and I just pretended to hang myself with my scarf, and he saw me. I got told he saw me for like 30 seconds, and he just looked down at the ground and walked away.
With that, let's go over to Daniel. Let's go over to Nashville, Charlotte. On the road, a crazy 4-2 match.
You really doing this to me right now?
Yeah, it's time. We had Josh talk at length about his SKC, his beloved SKC. Now we got to talk about your beloved Charlotte, who, man, what is going on?
So my beloved Charlotte, they get
lost 4-1 to Orlando.
Yeah, I'm starting with that. Thank you, Juanners, for doubling down for me. Get absolutely trounced 4-1 to Orlando. You justify it. Like, you get angry because you have a hard time watching the way they play anyway, so you feel like you just wasted 2 hours of your fucking life. And it's like, okay, well, they never win in Orlando anyway, so it's like, fine, it is what it is. And then for the second time in, 5 weeks, we get beat up by Nashville. Guys, I just don't know anymore. I really don't. I then they lose to Atlanta United tonight. Like we can go on and on about the disappointment of what I thought Charlotte was going to be this year. I still think they are that playoff bubble team that I know Jeremy shouted out and Juanners shouted out, but I really thought that this team had the talent and depth to be more of a top 4 team. So I'm hoping that there's still a chance they can turn it around, but they just are they give up a lot of goals. And they're having a hard time finding the right center back pairing, which is difficult when you're getting decent play from Toffolo and Byrne. So you're not really supporting your. Go ahead.
Well, you go ahead. I'll have some to add, but
so I don't think they're doing a good job supporting their fullbacks, which have to get forward to play the way that Dean Smith really wants them to play. You don't have great wing play, and you're getting a lot out of Pep Biel right now. You don't know what the best combo for that is either. It seems like Abada is out of the starting lineup, and that might be permanent. It seems like Vargas has also found his way out of favor of Dean Smith because they have started using a loco. Now, Vargas did start on this over this weekend and on the left, but I think that's not his preferred. His primary position is right wing, obviously, and they're slotting a loco in there. He's done some good things. He's a young player. I feel good about his future. We have transitioned to the Archie Goodwin era for all of a game, even though he was my blind resume guy. I meant to congratulate you. Your Kevin Kelsey agenda was increased this past weekend, Jeremy.
He's got 2 goals in 3 games, Daniel.
And we're back to, it feels like desperation with Andrew Privet back in the lineup, and he had his best years. He reminds me of, do you guys remember how good Walker Zimmerman and Lucas McNaughton were in like 2022?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He had a year where he was like the Lucas McNaughton with him and Malanda pair, and they had the most clean sheets in 2023, right? Hasn't been the same since. Doesn't look good with Ream. Doesn't look good against Agyemang. So like with Agyemang. So I don't know where he fits there.
Well, Ream's also injured.
What'd you say?
Ream's injured, so that's why he had to.
So the pairing, they didn't have a good pair to start, right? Because we watched Tim Ream get cooked in transition consistently. And now we're at a point where, I mean, we put up with that because he's good with the ball on his feet and he's still smart. And when he gets cooked, like, he is good with the ball on his feet. Juanners, stop shaking your head. But he made me lose my thought when he shook his head. But when he gets cooked, right? Because it leads to us getting trounced. So I don't know. I really started spiraling when we lost to Inter, or when we drew Inter Miami's second team. That really got me going on the Dean Smith rants. And I don't know if you guys have seen me on Twitter. I've tweeted multiple times, Dean out. But it also leads to a deeper issue that I don't really know what this Eastern Conference is either, right? So we list off those losses. And what we do know, right, is Chicago's pretty good. We don't know how good. We know Nashville is incredibly good, as they prove week in and week out. And if they're down 1-0 to Tigres right now, so if they have less schedule congestion, they're just going to get even better in the league. If that ends up playing out, and we know Miami's good normally. They have off weeks. We laugh at them when they do, but they win a lot of games, right? And at worst, they usually draw. Beyond that, I really, really don't know what they are. And we're going to touch on this too when we get to Orlando, but I don't know what Orlando is because they beat the crap out of Charlotte and then they go off and they lose. So to a team that they theoretically are in their same tier, DC United, right? So it feels like the East is incredibly top heavy, but and I think it's more of I can't like pin down what the problem is. Because if you look at like the top talent in the East, it is on par with the West, or in some cases better. Maybe it's a roster construction issue. I don't really know what it is, but I can't really put my foot on it quite yet. Maybe a couple more weeks of listening to all of us talk about them will help me do so. But yeah, that's my Charlotte spiel. I expected more at this point. It's kind of disappointing. And then Nashville, I mean, they just prove every single week how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with Ahmed Kazim this time, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a player last year. I was like, man, I can't wait till Kazim like shows out. And it was like, when is he coming out? When's he coming out? And because remember, it was like Why is he not the third option? Why is he not the third option? And now it's like, okay, well, the third option now is Christian Espinoza. So there's less pressure on Cosm to perform. So when he actually has these starts, he could just cook in between the midweek spells. You know what I mean? And so very happy to see Cosm. Like, I mean, sorry, it's your team got cooked here.
But I mean, between Cosm and Corcoran, like in Madrigal, like they're deep and they're good. Like all these guys that are coming off or off the bench to support or allowing them to rotate, like they're all really good players. It almost reminds me of Vancouver to that extent. But Cosm was a big signing. Like I don't know if Vancouver would make a signing like that. He was a big signing when he came in, but they're just deep. They're kind of loaded. I'm pretty jealous.
My thing is I do like Morrison Agamang and Andrew Privet.
I like Morrison Agamang. I like him a lot. I think he's a good athlete.
And I do think they need to go to a 3-back. It's time for a 3-back Charlotte team.
I agree.
Because your midfield is like how much have we talked about the midfield logjam of like Westwood, Bronico, Diani, and who's the other guy? De La Torre. I mean, that's how fucking
De La Torre.
We talk about it every week because they can't figure out what they want to do.
So just cut your options, get 2 guys in there, put Pep Biel at the 10, like play like Cincinnati do. And it's like, well, at that point, you don't have wing play, but you do have 3 great strikers in Toklamati, Goodwin, and Aloko. Say goodbye to Zaha. I don't care if you can buy my house. All right, go buy my house, and then I don't know, give it to me. That'd be nice. But between him, Vargas, and Abada, why just keep forcing the wing play? I don't get it. Like it's clear none of the 3 have really been, elite level MLS. But it's just Dean Ball. It's just Dean Ball refuses.
I think that takes it to a bigger point, Juanners, which is Dean isn't going to change the way he wants to play. He's just going to keep rotating until he finds something that works. And that's what makes it so frustrating, because what you said just seems pretty obvious and it won't happen. I hope he changes my mind, though.
We needed the experimenter Raphael Wiki on Charlotte and Dean Smith on SKC. That's what I want to see.
If there's one thing that Dean Smith can do, he can recruit talent. That would
stabilize it and stabilize him.
Mm-hmm. He can make you a playoff team.
Stabilizer.
The stabilizer. I'm gonna take us to Toronto, Atlanta, guys, and I'm ready to say it now. I think. Oh my God! Did you guys hear that? Holy fuck! Sorry. Flash score notifications. Just a loud whistle. But Sergeant Ass ?
That was my.
I actually like that agenda because the U.S. men's national team gang are way too annoying about him.
That was my most recent Google.
Computer, show me a picture of this guy's ass.
This guy, a BBL. You've been programmed.
I mean, yeah, he scored. He scored against Philly. He scored against the Rapids. Sure, whatever. But I just don't. I like Emilio Aristizabal more than I do Sargent at this point. And I mean, I wanted to ease off the OTB matches. I took one for the team here, this was actually a very good game. Tata, come on, Tata. He's kind of figured it out a little bit here. Tata Martino benching one of the worst players in the league in terms of goals added plus in Thomas Jacob. Looking like a rough signing. And Matthew Edwards got a second start here. Do you remember when Edwards was like coming onto the scene, becoming this player, and then for whatever reason he just I mean, I think it was part injury as well, but last season it was when he really got some starts in at the right back position, and then, Ronnie Dyla was like, whatever, I don't like you anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. But now, like, Atlanta, like, I like their midfield. It's got Galarza, it's got a Johnny Fortune, it's got Riley, it's got Cooper Sanchez, it's got Muyumba, and I'm like, dang, if only your attacking options were just as good as the midfield options. Like, they have one too many midfielders right now, and maybe the Galarza signing should not have happened, really. But if any one of these guys was just a forward or a winger, like I think you'd be fine. And it's no surprise, fellas, that Almiron is out with an injury, and now Atlanta are starting to kind of to turn the wheels without him. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a narrative to look at. Is this team better without Miggy Almiron? Maybe, but then we got to see more Luke Brennan. We got to see more. I mean, Saba is gone, guys. Like I don't know where the fuck Saba is at anymore, but it didn't feel too long ago when we were seeing Saba just with the ball at his feet and dribbling at players. And I know his end product was never there, but I was just waiting for the gas theorem on Saba to pop off. It hasn't. I don't think it will. I think you gotta move on from him. But Atlanta, maybe I did not fall for it. Maybe. And then Toronto, I mean, this team is. Look at Gavran. I didn't even mention this. Goalie goal scored off a corner, or not a corner, but a cross in the dying embers of the match against Austin FC, no less. Like, very happy they didn't lose that one. But then also, like, if you need a Gavran goal to save yourself against Austin FC, it goes to show the East really is kind of cheeks. And overall, like, Toronto without Georgie is not the Toronto that I really want to see. I think these OTB matches would have been a much different dynamic if Georgie Mihailovic was in the 11. But I'll throw it over to you guys. Any thoughts on Toronto, Atlanta, either one of these two?
Let's go into Toronto really quickly because they've had the longest homestand in the league up to this point in the season. They haven't played a road game since March 8th. In that time, they have drawn 1-1 to the Red Bulls at home. They beat Columbus and Colorado by the score of 2-1 and then 3-2. They drew Cincinnati 1-1. Back-to-back 3-3 draws against both Austin and Philadelphia. And then they just lost to Atlanta. They have 2 more league home games in the next week. They face San Jose, and then they host Miami. Guys, that's 2-4-1 during this homestand so far, which is not what you want to see. Those draws are going to absolutely kill them when it comes to be playoff time, because Daniel was making this point about how the Eastern Conference is quickly becoming the Leastern Conference. Had to get that in there. I think that changes after the World Cup. I think it does. I think the East starts to find its footing a little bit. That could be due to influx of talent, maybe the departure of some of those underperforming pieces like an Almiron through those contract buyouts, because it would be really funny if Arthur Blank says this is the time we need to buy out Miranchuk when he's actually like playing well. So I think that Toronto had an unbelievably good time to position themselves as one of the better teams in the East during this pre-World Cup stretch, just because of how many home games they had. They have completely fumbled it. Now they have to welcome San Jose and Miami this weekend and then next weekend. It's not looking too good for them, guys. So, I hate watching Toronto play. I love watching their games, but I hate watching them play. And I think number one on their list for this upcoming transfer window is getting a true number 6. They missed Davy Flores. I miss Davy Flores. He did not deserve to suffer through those bad Toronto teams that he was on, but they'd kill for him now.
Does anyone want to interject, or should we stay with Jeremy for Columbus, Philly?
I just think Toronto's cursed, and it's kind of funny that they spent all that money on Insigne and Berna, and they stunk.
and then they found a way to distribute that money really, really well against like 5 or 6 really, really, really good players, and they still aren't very good.
I think the Sargent signing was not needed. It was
Yep.
a swing and a miss from them, and I think they're paying the price for it because, God, what a man!
It would have been funnier if Sargent would have ended up at St. Louis like everyone rumored a year ago. That would have been peak.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis could use him too. That's the thing. Like, St. Louis unironically fits, or sorry, Sargent unironically fits better on St. Louis than he does on Toronto at this point. But let's go to Columbus and Philly.
Yeah. All right. Max Arfston, you are now an inverted right winger, and you're pretty good at it. Awesome. That's really cool. He opens the scoring in the 5th minute. Very nice goal from him. Columbus doubles their advantage right before halftime with a courtesy of a Nathan Harriel own goal. Unfortunate for him. One of those that's just like not really his fault, just an unfortunate deflection. But that's the way things have been going for Philly this year. We are officially on Alada watch because it is the 8th game of the season, 9th game of the season. Philly have played. Oh, they've played 10 games. He has shot the ball twice in 10 games. None of them have gotten on target. It is my favorite stat of the season. Every single time I watch a Philly game, and he to be fair, he doesn't get into this game until the 84th minute, and then he manages to touch the ball 5 times, none of which are inside the box. Which, guys, he's not going to get up a shot if he's constantly touching the ball outside the box.
I mean, there is an inside the box now, so it works in both cases.
It does. And Ezekiel Alada is the poster child of everything that's gone wrong with Philadelphia's offseason. It's unfortunate. And another one of their new signings, Jaffet Sari Larson, he gets a red card in this game, in like deep in this second half stoppage time, to where this doesn't even matter. Speaking of doesn't even matter, Philadelphia Union, fuck off. Yeah. This really wasn't that much of a game. It was certainly 2 soccer teams showing up, and that's about it. I don't really have anything else to report on. It's Columbus. They've won 2 in a row. Congratulations to them. Philadelphia sit at the bottom of the Eastern Conference 1 year after, like a few months after lifting the supporter shield.
Peter Vermes needs a job.
Peter Vermes needs a job. Get him in there. Guess what? He can do 2 jobs at once. So he can do,
for real?
yeah, he can do Ernst Tanner's job, and he can do Bradley Carnell's job. Get him in there. I have been waiting for Peter Vermes. I didn't realize Philadelphia would be the place for him. Back to you.
Let's go over to Daniel for DCU Orlando, 3rd here. I thought this was a good match, so I'm very interested to see why it was. I mean, I guess I don't know. I think he had some bangers of a weekend here for the matches. So
Yeah, I got pretty lucky. I'm not gonna lie. This was put as my 3rd match because while it was still a fun one to watch, like it didn't have like the pop of watching like a Nashville or I guess the real allure of the Texas Derby, where I now have a big wager.
Derby.
The Derby. Horns up. But no. That's illegal in the state of Texas.
Horns
Can't
down.
be doing that.
Oh,
Bitch, I'm
horns
from
down.
Texas.
You're LARPing. You're from Pittsburgh. You're a LARP. You're LARPing.
I wake up in the morning and think of ways I can LARP as a Texan. Hop in my truck.
Hey, that's what Urquhart Soga does. He LARPs as a sporting director.
That's a fair point.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Those LinkedIn posts have power.
They do. The author. Holy shit. I didn't pre-plan any author jokes. So, I'm in hell. Somebody make up one on the spot. No, you're good. Don't worry about it. I didn't even read his LinkedIn post. I don't know how many Antoine Griezmanns it would take to make Orlando a consistently good team. If Antoine Griezmann could play goalie, I think that would be really nice. I think can Antoine Griezmann play goalie too? I think DC. This is the second or third time I've gotten to watch them this year. I think they're not fun, but I think they're frisky. And that's enough to make me want to keep coming back every single week because they could beat pretty much. I think they could beat anybody in the East 2 out of 5 times aside from those top 3 teams because the East is just such a disaster. But they're not. They're not going to make the playoffs. But you tune in for the what could happen. You tune in for the theater, the cinema. In Orlando, I don't have a whole lot of good things to say about Orlando. Oh, Kurukawa. This is the first time he stood out in a game to me. I actually think he's really, really good. He's gonna be good as like also the Hopkins goal. I love homegrown goals, man. Especially guys that like never get talked. That's why I talk about Preston Judd so much. He's just like a striker no one really talks about. Hopkins, you gotta love when like a homegrown guy gets a goal. That's awesome. That's all I got.
I can't wait for the Jackson Hopkins cash for the Colorado.
Yeah.
Hopkins will save me.
The double
any
KDP.
thoughts on this one? Yeah. Oh, there. Yep. There's another one. Fuck. Anyone have thoughts on this one?
DC played in 2 games this week. One of them finished 4-4. The other was a comeback 3-2 win. That's so funny. That's got to be like
without Baribo.
It was in the script, bro. It was in the script.
True.
Let's stay with Joss. Miami, New England. Tell us about it.
Not much to say here. Miami continue to be disappointing at home, and it's the funniest levels of funny. Austin FC game or New England game? Which one was funnier?
New England, always New England.
New England? I don't know, man. Austin FC getting the first goal in their stadium and then nobody talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's here, but New England are right here in terms of how funny it is that Miami didn't beat them, and Miami are still winless at home. Things are not getting better. Bertarame.
Yo, you're turning purple.
The redder he was turning through that, it was unbelievable.
He was turning Inter Miami pink there, dude.
He turned into a human sound effect board for a second. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Just kept going.
Sound effect board?
Nice work.
So yeah, Bertarame has not been very good so far. I just don't know if they figure out a way to use him yet. And I mean, it's all look. You don't fire a coach who you just gave all of the resources to bring in all of these different players, and then expect Bertarame was brought into play in a system that was Mascherano's. A Mascherano system who I'll give him his credit because I didn't really take him seriously as a coach last season. He clearly had a system set up in Miami, and that system clearly worked. I mean, you can talk about the quality of players that they had on the team and how much better it was than every other team that they played. But still, Mascherano had a system that was more than just kind of what Zidane did at Real Madrid, which is just guys, go out there and play. You're better than them. Mascherano actually had a setup which got the best out of his players, focus a lot on long switches and intricate play in the middle of the park. And that was a serious Miami team. And so they brought in players like Reguilon and Bertarame, Dane St. Clair to an extent for a Mascherano system. And then you fire him 9 games into the season, and it's okay, this isn't going to fix things. And then now we have a coach who, because they still haven't hired a coach, it's still just a guy, really, that we're giving the reins to here. So things are really falling apart for Miami a little bit. But I don't know. Like I'm just Miami have fallen off. They've fallen off. They're in it. They're not what they used to be. They're getting left behind by teams like Nashville and Nashville. But for the most part, I think that this is a better game for New England, who have been quietly pretty good. And Daniel, I think, is going to have to write a notes app apology to Marko Mitrovic here pretty soon.
You've been waiting to say that, you motherfucker.
I have been. But like the Revs were good. The Revs were solid. They didn't implode. I think last year against Miami, even if it's this Miami, I think last year's Revs probably lose this game 4-1. But it's still early days, still early season, so still a lot to really take note of, and then still a lot to be played out. But shout out to Matt Turner, by the way, statistically the best goalkeeper in the league this year. I think he's got, this is a stat from Tatul on Bluesky, but I think he's got 7.3 goals saved this year, which is way better than second place Brad Stuver at 4.5. Zach Steffen, for what it is, he's minus. What is he? He's minus.
Say
two.
it.
Minus.
Say it.
Though the thing is, I'm scared.
I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is.
Second worst at minus 4.5.
Let's also not forget that Zach Steffen 2 years ago had the worst post-shot expected goals ever since the stat was being tracked in all of Major League Soccer.
Wow. Chris Brady's he's third in the league at 3.8. So there you go, Daniel. You can have that. But a Marko Mitrovic apology will be waiting because they're fourth in the East. And I mean, this backs up 2 points. Marko Mitrovic is a good coach. The East is the worst conference because New England are fourth.
It's the worst conference by way of New England.
It literally is.
It's the New England measurement.
Yeah, and then you got Miami that are just hanging around because they go on the road and teams are like, oh my God, it's Messi. And they're like, yeah, it's us. We're Messi. But I'm going to go over to any other thoughts on this one, fellas? New England ones? Jeremy, you want to?
I wish I had more to say about New England, considering they're fourth in the fucking East. But I do not. But we'll keep seeing. Griffin Yao, do something for me before I label you as a bust.
A little poking stick at Griffin Yao. Do something.
Yeah.
Do something. Let's stay with Jeremy. Cincinnati, New York Red Bulls. Cincinnati getting a big win at home here after going on the road and getting a crazy 4-4 result against the other New York team. But what'd you make of this one?
The Red Bulls still can't defend, guys. And it's pretty funny because at the beginning of the season, I was incredibly skeptical of their center back core. And I like to pat myself on the back when I'm right. That's me patting myself on my back for the non-video watchers. That's Daniel patting me on the back. Daniel, who has suddenly decided to go to the hoodie underneath the cowboy hat. I don't know what to make of that, but it's working for him.
It's a Colorado Cowboy.
It's a Colorado Cowboy. Shout out the Box State. Back to Cincinnati. This week has been defined by the penalty kicks, as in the penalty kick that tied the game in New York City midweek, which Denke wanted, but he gave to Evander. And then the penalty kick from this game, which Evander won, but gave to Denke. Isn't it so nice, guys? Isn't there something that it isn't worrisome that you have to be like, look at how nice these guys are getting along. Look at how much they like each other. They're giving each other penalty kicks.
What if they kissed?
Dude,
Yeah.
what if they did this?
I like to think
Would that solve everything?
Like legitimately, those are not the storylines you really want to hear right now.
I like to think all the tweets that are out there of us, like people like me and other people like Jeremy saying that they hate each other. And I wonder if they see that shit. They're just like, we don't fucking hate each other.
Pat Noonan,
I mean,
Evander. Denke, and they're just all, it's a three-way kiss.
They have to be happy with each other until Neymar comes in the summer and Denke has to leave. So
4-way kiss. That's crazy.
4-way kiss. It's just Evander and Neymar.
What?
Didn't Josh just write fanfic about the three-way kiss?
I was just gonna go to FC Cincinnati's subreddit and see if they would write me anything.
Oh, they will. They're Ohioans. They have plenty of time on their hands, and I'm sure that they will have enough time to quit calling for Pat Noonan's head after they got a reinvigorating win over the New York Red Bulls, courtesy of a Kevin Denke tap-in and a Kevin Denke penalty kick. Both of those goals can be attributed to the fault of Masanka Bungi, who, if any of you guys watch YouTube, specifically former current Cincinnati fan, Jared HD, who does a giant FIFA imperialism series every year. Masanka Bungi actually became very important in that this year. He got upgraded to a 99 like immediately. However, he is a winger. He does not play left back. He does not play fucking left back at all. He is
Who does?
terrible at it. Omar Valencia does, Juanners. I'm going to beat you to your own point because I have heard some scuttlebutt that the Panamanian Soccer Federation does not want Omar Valencia playing too much before the World Cup. They're afraid of him getting hurt. They don't want bad things to happen. Panama's playing in the World Cup. So make of that what you want. But in the short time, it means that Michael Bradley, his bald highness, will be running out a winger at left back for the foreseeable future. We don't know how much longer that foreseeable future is going to be, but these double game weeks aren't stopping. They have to play, as I already said earlier, they have to play NYCFC this week. Yeah, so we shall see, because the Bulls are being carried by the strength of Mehmeti, Dos Santos, Julian Hall. They're not being carried by Cade Cowell, I'll tell you that. That's still a hilarious signing to me. At least Ruval Kaba is popping up with a couple of goals now. So that's starting to pay off a little bit. But, yeah, it's been a little bit of a fall from grace after everybody was like, oh, my God, Red Bulls, after they beat Orlando week 1. And it turns out Orlando's actually kind of stinky. So they look like they're going to be competing for the wild card spot this year. But I still firmly believe they do have a championship window if they attack the summer with the exact opposite of the way they attacked last summer. Last summer, they did nothing, mind you. They missed the playoffs. They're really going to have to get some players in during the summer, particularly at center back.
You know who else needs some center backs? Cincinnati, dude. They played Samuel Geedy at center back here because both Haglund, Miles Robinson, Teenage Hadebe, Alvis Powell, and Miles Robinson, all that salary eaten, all the defensive work there. Why can't we sign Brenner? Because we gave Miles Robinson a DP contract. Well, now you don't get either because Robinson's just going to sit his ass in the IR. But, I mean, Andre Carilla, step on up, give this team some salary relief, and let's see if they can do something with it. I do want to see Andre Carilla some more. Kyle Smith is MLS legend. I do love seeing Kyle Smith, so I don't mind him there. But Samuel Geedy should not be at center back, dude. What are we doing?
If no one else, at least put Nwobodo there.
Well, he's injured, but then you can just play a 4-back. Just play a fucking 4-back. All right. Come on. But fellas, I have the final game here, Seattle FCD. I don't really have anything to say about this game. It was a game without Peter Musa and Logan Farrington, and then Seattle won.
Got away with it again.
They did it. I mean, it's the button, right? They fucking.
Yep.
I mean,
Not Doug Farrington.
does anybody want to? I mean, not only was there no Logan Farrington or Musa, but Rand Benjamin got the start here. I don't think that dude's good.
Nope.
And that is my analysis on this game. I fucked up. I put this game on as at the same time as the Rapids Vancouver one, so didn't get as much time to really, watch it live. And then I'm watching it back, watching the highlights back, I'm like, yeah, this was just a game. From honestly the two teams I hate the most in the league. So I don't know why I gave myself this one, fellas. I think it was just I don't know. It was
You're a masochist.
I just don't think I was thinking is the thing. So I'd much rather it be I didn't know I was doing it rather than a conscious effort to give myself this game. I was gonna piss during this run through actually, but I figured I'd.
If you want to go piss, I could take some of this Seattle FC Dallas analysis really quickly. I do have a couple things to say about this game.
Oh, go for it. Tell us.
Go. All right. From the Dallas side, Santiago Moreno gets his first assist.
Sorry, I'm pissing.
Okay. I thought that was real for a second. Holy shit. Congratulations.
Cut it out.
Yeah. Congratulations to Santiago Moreno getting his first assist back in MLS at Lumen Field. That made me a little bit happy. You know what else made me happy? Jesus Ferreira scoring, but not because he scored, but he did the I'm not going to celebrate gimmick, and then he missed a penalty. So that's really good. That's an elite comedy. Really didn't celebrate for that, And he really wanted that penalty too. Like that's what the post-game chatter was about. Seattle, meanwhile, they haven't conceded a lot of goals, but they're conceding an abnormal amount of them on set pieces. That's not usually something this team struggles with. Noticing. Another thing I'm noticing, they are the biggest overperformers in expected points to this point this year. But it doesn't matter because everything they do is flirting, and every other team in the league gets hit with harassment allegations. Not just you, words, Tanner. You're not alone. Now, that's about it that I'm going to say from this game. Seattle have actually been one of the, quote, hotter teams in MLS, but that's just because they're able to stack results. It's not like they're really blowing anyone away. But once again, this is a big game for them this weekend because the banana peel of sport in Kansas City arrives. And there's no Tim Melia to slam Christian Roldan into the ground because he's concussed. And you can't do that to a concussed person.
Oh, I thought
Not very nice.
Tim Melia doesn't do this anymore.
Well, I mean,
Where is Tim Melia?
Being a landlord in KC. Why?
Really?
He's
Your
on the
landlord?
Juanners thing, yes.
No, he's not my landlord. I just know he is a landlord.
Yeah.
I wonder
Likely
what that
thing
experience
to do.
is like.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I'll find out where he's landlording, and I'll go pay him a visit.
God, that is such a sick content idea for us to see the
I'll see the
Wizards,
Wizards
my
right there.
landlord.
We do a deep dive, and he's actually a slumlord.
Oh no!
We do investigative journalism.
Off to see the landlord. Holy shit, dude!
All right.
Any other thoughts on
That's all I
Seattle,
got.
Dallas? Daniel, Joss, you guys like these Western Conference teams? Do they bring you joy?
No.
No,
So much joy. I love watching Ferreira. It's a treat. It's a pleasure.
Well, fellas, without further ado, let's wrap this one up. Jeremy, where can they find you?
You can find me on Elon app at Sports Guy Jeremy, where my mentions have just been filled with a bunch of idiots fighting about the Vancouver Whitecaps for the past day. I'm tired of it. Take it somewhere else. Go to goddamn Temecula if you guys are hating each other so much. Bluesky, jeremypeterman.bsky.social. My website, cascadiafc.com, where I would like to tease a couple of upcoming articles I will be releasing during the World Cup. How important is a DP number 9? And how important is having a Manungu? 2 things that the Portland Timbers might be considering during this summer transfer window. Should they be considering a number 9? No. Play Kevin Kelsey. He scores. And should the Timbers who is the Portland Timbers Manungu? I've already answered that. His name is Anthony. But I haven't really provided a ton of stats to back that up yet. And in these days, you need stats. Unfortunately, because a lot of people don't really pay attention to those. They just pay attention to whatever words you say. I could get on Twitter, tweet some fucking nonsense. People would lap that shit up. I don't need to provide any evidence. But because I actually care about providing evidence, I'm going to do that. What do you know?
Joss, where can they find you?
You can find me hanging from the second bowl at Soldier Field. And if you're not there, you can also find me online at Obviously the Wizards on Instagram and Twitter. Don't ask certain accounts on the Sporting KC space what they think about us, because they'll tell us it's our fault that Sporting KC are bad. And that's funny. They're saying it's our fault that we don't take a stand. They're gonna listen to us, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
Man, this media conglomerate refuses to step up for the little guy. I hate it here.
What are they? Yeah, they're gonna listen to us. We're already posting videos of how it feels like getting waterboarded, and those go nuclear every time. There's no way they don't see them. So you can find us at Obviously the Wizards if you want to see videos of my brother, my real life actual little brother, waterboarding himself. That's on Twitter.
What?
That was it.
That's my actual little brother. I didn't tell him he had to do that. He messaged me one day and said, "Hey, do you want me to waterboard myself for Sporting KC?"
Hey,
What?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm
man.
ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Full Saddam Hussein treatment in Sporting Kansas City right now.
That's crazy.
Hanging in the water.
And you can also find me my personal account at Josh Bathtub on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah.
Daniel, where can they find you?
You can find me on X, the Everything app, at VoxPro MLS. You'll see me on there as Major League Shill, and Jeremy Peterman has me now looking up Vancouver tweets that I can tag him in to fill up his mentions.
Save the
Thank you,
caps.
Daniel.
Save the
Lord's work.
fucking caps. You can find me at Juanners715 on Twitter, at I'm Juanners on Instagram, Juanners.bsky.social, and then follow Box State Footy. Simply go to boxstatefooty.com, at Box State Footy everywhere else. Listen to Inside the Box, listen to Outside the Box. Burgundy Banter tomorrow, or tonight, I guess. Burgundy Banter later tonight by the time this comes out. And so tune in to the live stream there. And we'll see you when we see you. Thank you guys so much.